data. It's what?
Friends!
Hello.
Okay. It says that we're streaming on TikTok.
Okay, I'm refreshing my. There you are.
Yeah.
I see it.
No.
I'm in it.
Okay. I'm gonna start the. Oh, let me share screen for the.
I see the screen on here, but yeah, we gotta see it on the stage.
No.
So, welcome for those on TikTok. We are gonna be viewing, watching it on. How am I saying? If you're on TikTok, you're just seeing the screen that we'll be talking about, but there's an audience in our Discord that they're gonna be chatting amongst ourselves and reacting, much like the last watch party, but without as many faces on the TikTok. Hi, Natasha. So welcome. If you want to get in on the conversation, at least see who's up here on the Discord. You can go to the link of trees.
Don't be coy.
I'm trying to figure out where it is though. It's on Instagram though.
Graham, which has the link bio. Join our Discord, all that. I need to go back to the kids, so I want to start the.
Hey.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
I just talk over it a little bit.
So I'm going to be talking over a little bit just to make sure that
It
it's
says session one,
audible
but
and
it's set up as session 2, so I think I'll go catch up.
nah, I'm not going to be overpowered by the
Eventually.
playback.
But I will turn it up a tiny bit
less
because you're quite
pressure.
overpowering.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm loud. What can I say?
This is why I record standing up.
And so the child is even louder.
Sit down because it'll
in the background.
Okay. Let's give everybody. I mean, we can just hang out for a minute. Give everybody a minute to.
I mean, yeah,
trickle
all
in,
the stream is just
and then
starting
we'll do
too.
our
It's
normal,
it's
you know,
Ethan being like, "Hey, we're
intro,
getting started."
and out. We'll introduce our characters this time, and yeah, everything will be great.
Let me invite.
yeah. So what,
I want to say something to Rhodey. I'm actually in the Discord. Stop sending me the invite.
How do y'all want to introduce yourself?
Yeah.
Last session was good. We're not doing that every time though.
No, we're not doing the like.
Oh,
What are
right.
you? I mean, we could say like, what are you doing right now? Because you are.
If you want to join the discussion,
in the
Rhodey,
middle of combat.
you need
to
to
combat.
be on
Mid-combat
the
check-in.
Discord.
Last time
so
on
I
Punch
play.
Drunk
So,
Journey.
just in case anybody is
I play
interested,
so and so, and right now
you
I'm
can
staring at a dead
individually
mushroom.
control the stream
Not what I
volume
thought you were
by
about to say.
right-clicking
I
it
can see it
if you're on a computer, and adjusting the volumes there.
And I'll do my normal like.
Much like I did
intervene
for
very
myself,
deep
because
podcast
I
Oh,
attempt.
who did we lose?
can't
Was that
focus
him?
when there's multiple voices in my
We
head.
got
I already
five
have
of
too many
them.
voices in my head.
Woo!
Intended
Huzzah.
for adults.
Right?
Hello,
I know.
everybody.
What's gonna be weird is when
I'm
we get to that
gonna.
stage where we have to do a countdown, and it fills up before we even get started.
Are we? I think
Yeah, right,
Zach's
dude.
still testing, which is perfectly good.
Let's hope, right? I mean, come
And we actually have to open
manifesting.
like we're professionals. You mean?
Hello.
I mean, who acts like who's gonna?
I
act
can't
like
wait
I
for
understand
certain
that.
parts because I
Well,
did listen
eventually,
back
Whoa.
to.
Even beyond that.
Hey, I did listen back to
the
the podcast or before the podcast came out,
I was there,
and there were definitely some
from the
parts that
beginning
I
when
kind
they
of
were
like
talking
noted
about,
down
like,
in my head
what
of when it
intros they're
comes
gonna
up.
do.
And I'm just like, oh, I can't wait for this part to come because it's just like there's some moments in this play in this
You
game
know what?
We
I
are,
gotta say,
from 2 Fridays ago
Yeah,
that I just
I'm very
cracked
impressed
up.
that we get
Oh,
into games
I
so
so can't
quickly
wait.
because, like, I do my
Hey,
D&D games. We're like, yeah, we're gonna start at
and
this time. Half an hour later, we still haven't started, but we're
what was I
about
gonna
to.
say?
We're
Oh,
pretty good.
and
We're good.
We're always about
the next live stream is
That's how it always
tomorrow.
goes.
So, something for you to
And
be able
somewhere you
to,
just immediately
if you want to
start, and you're
have
like, I
some
guess we're
time,
doing this
spend
now.
time with us,
Everything is
or yeah,
in life.
us
Either
live
starting a
streaming
D&D
the
session or
next
not
part of the
starting a
game,
D&D session.
where I
Or
mean,
waiting
actually, you know, I won't
waiting-
spoil it because you'll
waiting
see
to
what
hear
happens
when
at the end.
scheduling
I'll
frees
just tell
up
you
so
because
can
you should already know what
start a
happens at the
D&D
end of
session.
this
Yeah.
playthrough. They go
Well, the live
and
notifications
they
work
go in
'cause
some
I
sort
do
of
it on my
hole
phone. That's good. I like
where
that.
there's a couple of people that
Yay!
they're
And I set it up
saving,
right this time.
and there may
Hooray.
or may not be bad guys in there.
Hooray! Huzzah!
We need to talk about the
Good.
art. I know
I
there's not
think
a ton of people
so.
here right now, but
Cool.
we gotta tell people about all the art. Can y'all talk a little bit? Cleo, I guess you're the only one
And
who's representing. the
perfect,
art
we've
team.
like
Can you
missed
talk a little
nothing
bit about the
because
process and stuff?
they're still doing
So
introductions.
we wanted to get we wanted
And
to
this
put
is the
faces to
first
these lovely
play.
voices.
This is the first
So
game
everyone
where
sent
the character art was
inspiration for
introduced.
their characters. Some people
Cleo
did purchase
Birch
dates, some people
and
did here
Sammy
for it.
Rowe
Some
worked
was using
really
Go,
hard
Pinterest
in
vibe boards.
getting all of the
And myself
specifications and
and
all of
Sammy
like the
were
character
looking
details
full
and inspiration
SW
from the
Shanji, yeah.
players.
yes, the
And
goat.
they
Absolutely
drew
spectacular artist.
these character
Kept my
arts.
sanity in check
Yeah,
the
they drew these
entire time
character
we were
arts,
doing these.
and
Essentially, we split it up
this is the
as
first
evenly as we could,
playthrough where we got to
splitting
see
line
them.
art, and then
It's
one
the
going for
Sarah
color and
Dawn.
rendering, and the other going for texture
Hello.
and line
The
detail.
Sarah
So it was
Dawn.
a very,
Hi.
it was a
Hi.
pretty cohesive production.
I'm just on
like,
my phone. I was gonna log in
leading
on
to
my
each
computer,
other,
but it's
doing
taking
our
too long.
components
So
and getting it back, and then updating something, and then eating it back, and then
Wow.
Sammy putting the final touches on
Were there some
everything,
like
pulling it all
favorite parts
together,
y'all
and
remember
yeah,
from
we
the
cranked
playthrough
out
last
these
week? 2 weeks ago, I mean.
lovely
oh,
people. Yeah. If you would
I'm
like
trying to
more,
remember.
let me know.
I'm struggling
I
remembering
never
yesterday.
recovered
Don't
it.
ask me to remember 2 weeks
Oh,
ago.
so you look phenomenal.
I'm really
So glad you
I'm
guys
trying
did.
to remember.
I just remember
Yeah,
Raz
they were
jumping
fun to
down
do.
the hole. That's at the end. So you know.
Yeah,
To another map
which
right
was
now, so
very
if I
on
put it
brand.
the screen, people are gonna panic for a second, it's fine.
I really particularly like that you got Kaida's like come at me, bro.
Oh, they're talking about the
attitude
character
in her
art too.
artwork.
So good, right? Like the confidence
They
and
did
the
such a good
sass that
job.
just seeps
I like
through.
initially raised my
You
hand.
know
I was
what
like,
I
"Oh,
can
I'll
do?
help
I
out
can
with
show
the
people
art,"
what y'all look like
and
on
then I
screen. Make it
realized
bigger. Hang on.
I don't actually have the
So,
talent.
Rosie,
I
roll.
just
It's so good.
I can actually
Look, we
draw,
already got
Look at
huge,
him.
and
I
so I was like,
can't.
you
Yeah.
guys can handle this, right? And they're like, yeah, we got it. I was like, oh, thank you.
And that's
Yeah,
at the
face
beginning too.
work.
I was like, I could maybe
Yeah,
do
yeah.
something, but I'm not
The
great
scroll work on his
digitally.
face.
So
So good. If you
Yeah,
notice
because I
the
made
Yeah,
sure
because
to
like
do
I
very subtle
sketch,
tattoos, so.
but
yeah,
If you notice the background
I
references
sketch
his
with a
tattoos.
pen and
They're
pen,
there
or
on
no
her
pen,
shoulder.
paper and
Carved
pencil.
marble.
exactly.
I love it,
She's
Iris.
so
Oh
happy.
my
My
gosh,
favorite.
Ethan's mushroom
gorilla.
screams at Rhodey.
I want to know.
Yes.
When
Oh
we
yeah.
film rest, is she going to like
God.
do hair
Dude,
rollers every
Uh,
night?
That's exactly what I said. I can see them
Anything
hair
mushroom
rollers.
related.
Oh, damn.
Anything mushroom related.
Oh god.
Yeah, I
please.
like that one.
God, she looks
Kaida's
so
Not
good.
for
good.
specifics.
so
I'm
good.
really
You
blanking
Tell me
right
she's
now.
not gonna double fist some chickens. Like
Oh,
she's gonna have a drumstick in each hand. Actually, you know, maybe
You know,
not
actually, I remember
you
that
know what I
line.
meant, damn it.
Nerdy
You know
and
what?
dirty. Do
You know
you
what
want
though?
that
You're gonna
dish?
be Steve's
Nerdy and
tomorrow
dirty? What
because
what
there's
line?
Day
You
where
know,
she's
double
like a
fisting chicken.
turkey leg kind of thing.
Yeah, that one.
I'll put content when I double
Oh,
check.
I remember
of course
Tegan
I
freaking out
remember
about
that.
the chickens melting in her bag onto like her
Oh
books and
my
stuff.
god,
Looks so
yeah.
good.
She looks
That was so
like,
funny.
I love how they
He
kept
says.
her kind of this like
It was so
worldly,
devastating.
like
Oh
innocent,
gosh, more
but, like,
people. Shoot.
clearly, like has a lot of
More people.
knowledge behind her. I
But
love that.
oh
That's
crap.
so cool.
I
Barrel.
love that her hair is so big.
I could
because
put
it's
Rhodey on
full of
timeout. I
intelligent
don't even know what that
secrets.
means.
Secrets.
I don't either, but do
Like how they
it.
did the style.
Yeah, it looks so good. And the
It's
gemstone in the
subtle
forehead.
enough.
I have so many questions.
When you time somebody out in
Yeah.
Discord, it means they can't do
But I
anything in
like
the
the
server
are
for
subtle enough.
time.
Really, like
I
No
love it.
messages, no speaking, no nothing.
Okay, do it.
Yeah, it's meant to be a
Speaking
burn.
about
Something got
wrinkles,
out of
give
hand.
him an
I
look.
he hasn't offended me yet today.
Not
Put him
yet.
in timeout until he
Looks
fills out
like
the
he's
paperwork
seen
he's supposed
some
to fill out.
Oh, there
Oh.
you go.
This man, he
If
And
you would check
hi.
the messages, you'd know that was already done.
Ooh.
Ooh.
God.
Fair enough, fair enough, fair enough.
A lot of you have blue eyes.
I'm talking shit. I haven't even done
I
mine.
noticed that.
Yeah.
'Cause Beryl
I
has
noticed
blue eyes,
that too. I
Rhodey
was like,
has blue
hold
eyes,
on, why are you
Roz
giving
has
me a
blue eyes.
reminder?
Iris, what color are your eyes?
Look.
And
I'm gonna do it before I send it over. It's fine.
I got to admit, Kaida's taking.
I mean, it
a
says
liking to her
cast,
hands
but I was like,
given
whatever.
the
You're getting mine
ginger
anyways.
Talk during game.
So
during
I,
the,
on my own
ginger-esque
accord,
talk during
completely
the
haven't
world
talked to
building.
anybody about this yet.
Uh-huh.
I'm working on something
All
to
right. I think we're ready to get started.
add to
So,
the production of this
welcome
podcast.
everyone.
Okay.
That I
Okay.
won't
Punch and Roll for
discuss
Initiative, a
publicly,
nerdy and
but I
dirty
will
We're public right
talk.
now, dude.
intended for
Yeah.
Well, I'm talking about specifically. I'm talking about. I'm not going to
Specifics,
say
okay.
exactly what I'm doing.
Sure.
But I'll tell you guys about it
we are going to introduce
afterwards,
our
and then we'll
cast.
see
I'm going
if
to go
we
using
want to talk
the
about it publicly
order at the
later.
bottom of the screen.
Can't be left in
Okay.
suspense.
Right?
You needed to
What
tell
we're
me
going
about
to
this
do is
earlier when we
say
weren't in
our
public, because now I'm
name,
going to bug you
something you're known
privately.
for, project you're working on, whatever you want to
Incessantly.
pitch. Now is your time.
I can't handle
what
this.
you are currently
That is
And the
doing.
totally a
anxiety is
threat.
building. Okay, the anxiety is building. What is it?
Maybe
Good.
very
It's called
specific, so,
anticipation.
Iris.
I don't like anticipation.
Hello. I'm Cleo Birch, and I play Iris
So one
McGugan.
other question I
Wait,
asked in the beginning.
Anticipation or anxiety?
Loving,
What was that
grumpy
mean?
He
of
said
the
anticipation
group,
or anxiety.
who,
Both.
you know, breaks some knees. but maybe
Anticipation
not
leads to
heroic.
anxiety.
It's
It's
valid.
all bad.
You can
Fuck
find
it
me,
all.
Cleo Birch.
Yeah.
I am an audiobook
Fuck it all.
narrator and voice actor. I've also recently joined the crew of Rediscovery RPG, which we play on.
Oh, yeah. They're still going through
And
introductions and talking
I
through,
also
like, the
mainly
cool
do
stuff that they're
audio
working on.
dramas,
Yeah,
coming up in the
Cleo is too
universe.
cool to just be in one D&D podcast. She's in 2,
Yep.
Up next is
which is amazing. I think she streams on Wednesdays if y'all are interested
Yeah.
to
I'm Marie Mitchell. You
check
know
her
me
out
from
playing
such
her
works
D&D
as Serve
games,
Appeals
and I think hers is
Statistically
like
Improbable,
horror
or
based,
webcomics
if I remember
like My
correctly.
Giant Nerdy Boyfriend from webtoons.com.
I think
play
so.
Kaida Thorne, and in our last episode, I murdered a mushroom in the last turn, and I'm fantasizing
And
about making
she
my
says that
costume.
so sweetly. In the last episode, I murdered a mushroom.
And then Zach, I think, decides to elaborate on how she murdered the mushroom. Because like,
The
I loved it.
specifics matter.
I was gonna say Zach's
Sure.
description of it is great. I will say. Whenever he described it, I thought it was so funny.
What if Pokemon, but you summoned them via shadow puppetry?
How am I? I'm.
It's a fun young adult fantasy. I am playing Redford, and Redford
Gotta love his voice.
currently
I
is
know.
stood
Mhm.
over Raz.
One of my friends
He's made
listened
sure
to the
have one
podcast of
foot
this,
on each side, really kind of
and
tucked in
asked me
next
if
to
that was
Raz's
his real
currently
voice,
unconscious body. Oh no,
and
just recently.
didn't
Compared
believe
to
me when
what?
I.
But
We just
Hey,
thought he was
okay.
putting on a character voice, and
because
it's like, no,
Oh.
that's
Redfold is
really what he
stood
sounds like.
protectively over his friend
I was like, yeah,
whilst
his voice
in
is
the
just
dark
that nice.
where he
Yeah.
can't see a thing. So he's making sure that he's in contact,
hi, dog.
so that he can always be aware of what's
I
happening
think
to Raz
I will never
in this
forget
dark situation.
I'm really
Red
glad you
Vault's
clarified that, actually,
very
because,
furry bottom.
you standing over an unconscious man in the dark, straddling
I
him
just
was,
love
you
that
know,
that was like
really lending
that
into the
you, Ethan,
furry part of this
specifically
podcast.
called out.
Hey,
Oh,
you cannot
now
take
that you're
back what
standing
you've already
over
said.
Roz,
Ethan
what does
has
Roz
already
see?
been
It could have been anything, but it's a very fuzzy bottom,
Up next
which
is
I
Raz.
appreciate.
I
I'm
appreciate how
Brody, I'm playing
differently
Raz,
people say my character's name
and
because
What is it?
it reminds me of like back in the day. It used to be the Millennium Falcon. Now it's the Millennium Falcon, and I just
When was
love
it ever Falcon?
Yeah, I
If you
don't think that's
listen,
right.
Harrison Ford calls
Yeah.
it the Millennium Falcon
And-
every time.
and
Even in the new ones, he calls it the Falcon.
Yeah, well, he's Harrison Ford. He can get away with it.
Exactly, and it's his ship. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I just think it's so funny.
So
the
you didn't answer the
cantina.
question.
Yeah.
How is it Raziel? Raziel?
It's
Raz
Raziel.
Roz? It's Raziel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just like the old razzle dazzle. You gotta
The
razzle.
razzle dazzle.
I can't remember if we were introducing
You heard it
ourselves.
here, folks.
In terms of
Oh
yeah.
shit.
but
another
I'm
live.
Tegan Burke. I am currently working
Oh.
on
I'm back.
the live
Supporting
stream
our life.
Starlight by Talia Catherine Sarkis, but I'm also known for multiple
God, there we go.
Perceptions projects. But for this, I am playing the half.
Yeah,
elf
my introduction was
Path of
so
Atonement
bad that when
warlock,
I was editing the
Emmy,
podcast, I just cut out most of it.
Emanaya Demira.
Aw.
And I'm
I was like,
currently
yeah, this is stupid. I'm
gripping
not using this. So.
terrifiedly
Oh,
into
Rhodey.
Beryl's
Yeah, it
arm,
was that bad.
shooting
I was
spells
just like,
into
yeah,
darkness
no,
and
this doesn't need to be in there.
Brady, you can't make me
hoping we
feel
get
bad
through
for you.
this.
So it just goes. It goes. Hi, I'm Rhodey. I play Raz, and I'm really excited to see how everything goes. And that was because I cut everything out in between that.
Didn't even say I'm an audiobook narrator.
Oh, I
An
probably said
engineer.
that, but I said how I'll be editing this podcast, and that was like it.
Mhm.
Did you actually say how you're an audiobook narrator since we have to force that out of you every time?
I think I streamlined it. Yeah, I think I've just said it. I just say it.
Did you
now.
just copy and paste from the last podcast?
I don't know, because we already went through my intro, so y'all missed it. But yeah.
And hi, I am Ethan Gray. I will be everyone else as your dungeon master.
Oh, I totally missed
and
Zach.
including all of the monsters
Oops.
and the mushroom that just got kicked at Barrel's head. I am best known for anime screams and romance.
I do like seeing the
moans.
pictures under the bottom
And,
now.
I
Like
It is so
having
cool.
I'm in a lot of
Yeah.
audio,
those
audio
instead
drama
of our
stuff
other
coming up,
images.
a
Look so
couple
much
of them
better.
on an app called Magic Wave if you want to hear audio dramas there.
True.
And I am also in a few books, including some that are nominated for awards, like All Hallows Haunt by
Oh
Ken
yeah,
Gray.
speaking
I'm
of,
nominated for
our
an
friend
award.
Ethan Gray
It's
here
crazy.
is
Yeah.
nominated for the Sultry Listeners Award,
Go
not
vote for us.
only as a
Anybody
new
who's nominated,
narrator,
go,
but
go, go, go,
also
go,
for a
go, go,
short
go, go.
story or
Hey,
novella. What was
we
it?
find
His
ourselves
All
Yeah,
Hallows Haunt.
for
where
All Hallows Haunt. Yeah.
each of you
Cool.
So
have
you can vote every day,
for
folks.
some, for,
You
y'all
can
can't
vote
see who are
every
watching the stream,
day.
but some of these people
That's a good reminder because I have not voted.
and so it is
Oh my
awfully dark in here. And, there's a lot of
Cleo, I
mushrooms,
see you on
a couple of
TikTok.
mushrooms
Come
coming
join us
up
on
that come
Discord,
my
and
way.
you
I'm gonna
can
put on
come up
some
here and
music,
chat with us.
some fighting music, and
I left my
would like,
TikTok on so that way
Beryl,
at
you are
least
going to go first. You hear
I can see
in
if
front of you
people
this
joined
can
that I
see
invited.
this large dragon chicken-looking creature.
I'm also
coming
trying to
toward
like. This is something of a DM trick.
He's
We're
hunkered
doing a
down,
lot of
getting ready
like.
for another strike.
You
You
go
hear the two
first, and then
mushroom
you
people
go next.
cackling.
And what I'm trying to do is get everybody in the habit of saying what they want to do out loud without feeling like they're
You see
picking
the
up
little
space,
mushrooms that keep
so that
growing
I
out
can
the
stop
walls,
doing
but
that.
I believe there's only currently one that you can see.
Because
It may be
I
around the
don't
corner.
want
Yeah,
to
you can see
anymore.
it's around the corner. But one you have seen that is ducked
Pick
behind
up the
it.
pattern, y'all.
Oh.
So, Beryl,
Hello.
what would you like to do?
Hello, our very own
Hey.
Iris is here.
If I have,
The
I
famous
mean,
Leo
once again, I know
Butch.
exactly what's happening because
How are you
Iris
guys doing?
gave me the code word dragon chicken.
I remember. I still love that. I love that you kicked the dragon chicken back to him again.
At that fierce-looking
Thumb stuffed him.
monster up there, I'm just gonna pop another firebolt in its face.
Okay, I believe you did.
There was a
just like-
moment when I listened back actually
just marked yourself as
when
dead.
I heard Ethan
What on earth?
give
Fucking laugh.
unintentionally give away that something was going to happen to the chickens
Oh yeah,
That's
send us
because
easy.
somebody mentioned picking up a chicken and he goes, "Well, there's a mushroom next to you."
Minimum damage.
And then they go, "No, I'll just grab a chicken over here." And it was so funny.
That was actually because I thought they were going somewhere else. It wasn't me giving it away.
Because I was like, hindsight is like, oh, he's telling us that the chicken's not a valuable pickup compared to the mushroom. But I thought it was
I mean, you
funny.
still get a gem out of it, right? Like there's
Right,
still a
right,
gem in
right.
your bag.
But still, it was just the whole like.
I'm sorry. You get a what?
A gem?
A jet. Oh.
A Fey ruby. 'Cause they had the rubies in their
Got
heads.
it. Got it. Got it. I was thinking
Not like a
G-I-N.
question real quick.
Nah,
I'm
Jen.
afraid to hide
Okay.
anything about how
We all went 3 different places, and I like
You
it.
gotta buy the.
She is an.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't remember any mention of Jin.
She is an.
I was thinking, I don't know who Jim is,
Then I
but
think feel free to
She got a gem out of
Fucking yeah.
Sarah, you've been out of the loop for a little while.
How you
we didn't want to tell you, but your
I
replacement
don't think
has
we need a
been
roll for
brought.
that if
So
you're not hiding it.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
She is
Jim.
visibly shaken.
Jimothy.
His name.
She is
We're not adding a
quite
gem. I
a
refuse.
Hallowed
Sarah?
tale
Never.
that-
Absolutely.
Who
Timothy.
hurt you? Someone named
holding
Jim?
onto
Jim.
your arm, you can actually feel that she
She
Jimbo?
used to be a
shaking,
coach of
but
something. I
at least
refuse.
even when
Okay.
you kind of convinced her that she had to go through, and she was
All
chanting
right.
to herself.
There. Okay. And I voted for myself. Yeah, I did it.
You
Look
can
at
see
me.
that
I'm a good boy.
Yay.
No,
Oh.
so maybe don't tell people that.
that
Just
she's
assume.
got to see this through.
That's all right. That's why I told people for you.
Yeah.
I think Beryl is going to.
Friends don't let friends.
step
Get to
in
vote.
Not-
front or kind of
Yeah.
step in and stand
I-
with her,
I didn't think before I
to
started saying it.
provide, just like
I
a
think
little
friends
bit
don't let
of
friends have to
reassurance that there's
promote
there's
themselves
another kind of
so they don't feel awkward.
presence here,
I like that.
between
That was
her
good.
and
Yeah.
what's going on.
As
Yeah.
she awkwardly says the whole
Darkness has to
thing.
go through
You
you.
mean smoothly?
Don't speak to
Smoothly?
me, okay?
Slick as
Raw
hell.
yell.
smooth.
At a quest, out of
Raziel.
because it's been
Razzle
I
dazzle.
was stuck on the
Razzle
inside of a wall.
dazzle.
I couldn't hear
That's
through
right.
what
I
was
don't know
going
about
on.
y'all,
Did
but I'm
anyone
pronounced this
explain to Beryl
Raziel.
and it-
Right.
Raziel.
creature
It's
was
Raziel.
invisible?
No.
I think Kata did.
Razzie.
I'm just gonna
because
change
it
your.
wasn't her
I'm gonna.
bag.
No,
I get to
we
be all the
were-
other characters
we were
anyway. I'm
threading
gonna
the
be your
wall when it
family
turned
and call you
visible
Raziel.
again.
I have no idea that this thing.
We're all gonna be hillbillies. Take that.
I was gonna say,
Close attention
suddenly you
to it,
turn
what's
them
your
into
passive
hillbillies.
perception?
It's like,
Because
okay.
what happened is
No.
Who's to
Kinda
say
went
that
back
the
on
angel
everybody,
folk aren't
and then
hillbillies? You
Amy
know.
got pulled through, jammed into
I
Iris,
haven't written them that
thing
way yet, but
went invisible and
maybe
I
I
was
should
gonna
add
say
a note.
it'd be too
Maybe.
close to
and then
reality.
you-
I
and
wouldn't
then you
like
came
this
through,
story
like, right
anymore.
after, like, 4 or 5 rolls.
I
So
want it
This
to be
is why-
fantasy, damn it.
attacking them. So I think in my mind it's like
Do
I
not
don't-
invoke the
I hate
wrath
to
of the
break it to you
DM.
guys, but I
Mhm.
don't have
Passive
dark, weirdly
No, I
blue
think with an
eyes
11,
and silver
it's not quite
hair.
high enough to
So
Wild
this
dude.
is very much
I
a
think
Weird.
there's so much chaos
a
to it, you walk
fantasy
in,
that I'm
you try
fine
to
with
hit by
not,
mushrooms,
making reality.
this chicken didn't eat anything.
And care to explain why you've made yourself so handsome?
I think it was just there.
Yeah.
I don't really know.
Again, I'm not used
How
to
do you
like
feel?
So
being an
that's all
attractive
good.
person, so I want to see how people treat me.
Aw, boo.
I'm looking at your dex score really quick.
I didn't like that.
Okay.
My dex score is
We're making it really hard to be mean to you
Okay,
today,
so
Rhodey,
there's
because
the
you're
good
just
news.
Rhodey's like, you
so
can't be
proud
mean
of
to
yourself.
You can't
the
kick me on the
ball
ground if I'm
earlier.
already just
You're just mean to
putting
me
myself
because
I'm
under
I'm
stealing
ugly.
people's jobs.
Can't hurt me if I hate
Hopping out of the
myself.
wall
That's
and
right.
over here, next to Roz. He, like,
Did he move
I
them?
have to
So
find my
sad.
blue
he
sky, and I hate it.
little crevice, so you can.
Oh, I
take
should make one of
opportunity to
those.
move out of your space if you would like.
Gotta
One
get
day.
around to
One
it.
day
I
I'll
don't even know what that
actually use
is.
it. It's
y'all
an
kept
app.
talking
It's
about it
Twitter
the
for
other day.
non
know that you can hit him.
schmazzies.
He's
Uh,
Oh.
I'll
Oh.
strike out with a quarterstaff.
All right. 7 will not
That's
hit.
a
God, I keep
7?
hurting myself.
God damn it.
7 will not hit him.
You know,
It's
until
still a little
like
dark, you know.
like I think the last year, I used to think
He
that a
moves up to this
what's
space.
it that you called it,
It's common
the
for him to,
staff
like,
that you
occupy
form.
similar spaces, but he can
Scepter?
only
Quarterstaff?
pause with this, and he's
No,
not
Shillelagh?
sure
Bow staff?
Yeah.
A bow
so
staff?
it's like the
No, no,
only
no, no,
green
no, no.
spot, so
Oh,
She is the-
shillelagh.
that
Yeah,
Red Ball
shillelagh. I used to
and,
think that was some kind of like
Iris, you were
instrument.
both within range of the one
Uh,
player
It
that would do
sounds
the
like
same
it
thing.
should
So
Like
be.
playing the shillelagh doesn't sound weird to me. But
Yeah.
Let's see
a year ago, I found an Irish woodworker on Instagram, and
so,
he
Roz, fine,
he made a
Red Ball,
shillelagh,
fine. Iris, are you
and
asleep?
I was like,
At
"That's
the
what
end
it
of your
is."
next-
It's the
at the end of
craziest
your
looking
next
thing,
round,
too, if you look 'em
It's
up.
so
They're like,
cool. Yeah.
Oh, I need to look it up. This uncultured person, for the longest time, thought it was pronounced Shalala.
Yeah.
I will.
Oh.
One square up.
Shillelagh.
Actually, hell, I'm gonna message you this because I don't want it to accidentally be embarrassing.
Uh-huh.
Shalalala.
If I had another reaction, I don't believe so.
I
Alright,
refuse
I'm
to
gonna-
spell it right. The same way with Fahrenheit. Yeah. It's never going to be spelled correctly.
Would a 14 passive perception?
Wait, you spell
realize if
Fahrenheit?
I'd been
Just put an F.
Oh no, to mock it. I spelled it incorrectly.
Oh, okay.
Horrible. It's a horrible means of temperature keeping.
It just
Well,
decides what
I
I want to
You
do.
know,
how you spell
not
it.
everybody can appreciate freedom units, and that's fine.
listen, Celsius.
Big deal.
Celsius.
Well, then I hope
Or
this
Kelvin,
works.
that's
I
it.
look at the big
Kelvin.
chicken dragon thing.
I
Sure,
think
it
it should be
going
Kelvin.
invisible,
Okay,
saying
I can actually
and
support
attempt
Kelvin.
this.
Ooh, I mean that
Kelvin.
hits, whatever that is.
Kelvin.
Details. Yeah.
So,
When did I say drawer?
Well, I mean, if you want to call
So I
yourself
got a
out, then I'll
21.
let
I
you.
mean, I don't even remember saying drawer.
Yeah, you don't. You say draw.
Makes range spell
And
attack
I
on
did.
a hit.
Yeah, in the
takes 80
15-minute
radiant
check, you were
damage.
saying draw,
And until the
and
end
I'm
of my
like,
next turn, it emits
drawer?
dim light in a 10-foot
What?
radius and
And-
can't generate
yeah,
What are you talking about?
in the 15-minute check that I edited for you guys,
So he's now lit up.
you were saying draw
Add-
instead of drawer,
Let me add light to him.
and I was
He
like,
did
well, it's not
also
that
only
important.
take 1
so.
damage though because
Whoa.
I rolled trash on the
I mean, they're
dice.
two different
How
words.
far did you say?
Well,
Okay.
but it's an accent thing too.
10 feet
Like,
radius.
Is blue
I
sky
mean-
down?
Uh-oh.
Even
Think so?
if
Not
you
another
go to the
one.
page and remove my person and I
No?
can see what you're doing. Like nothing.
That's
Well,
weird.
Maybe just for you.
They're like, you're not allowed.
Yeah,
No
you're
blue skies
you're
for
done.
you.
You're done.
Only
You're-
cloudy.
you're-
you
done.
broke it.
Yeah, no more for you. Thank you.
Weird.
Yeah, no, it's
You're
it's
human,
it's
Yeah,
rough.
I,
so you
my
can only-
person
Google's like
is, just,
redirecting me
invisible,
somewhere else.
I don't know
but,
why
like,
you're
You-
actually behind
the
me.
internet
It's
doesn't
just like, hang
work.
on.
You're not allowed.
I'm moving your.
Fair.
I can see behind me. It's like dark, but I can see it.
Yeah, I just don't.
Oh yeah, we were
understand, like, the
dealing
light
with
source is
the
not going
what
far
tide I
enough to
can
reach
see.
Daryl and Emmy, so on some
I
Oh
can
yeah.
I can look at
Uh-huh.
this.
Oh.
looks like they don't.
I'm really
From my
wanting to make a
perspective-
Helldivers,
Pitch black.
or not Helldivers, a
Watch
Welldivers
that copyright.
logo.
Stop doing that.
I know.
Can you move?
Okay.
But no, I really
Good
want
help.
to make a Welldivers logo just to like see what it could look like.
How about now?
What were you saying, Cleo?
I saw.
Oh no, I was gonna say when Kaida was moving up,
If you can see
but
me
with
move,
the
I
still
can
in
always
that
move
same
you if
like
you get stuck. There's like
with
a
the lighting be the way it was, it looked like Jesus was beside me. I don't know
Yeah.
why. It was
Oh,
the most
what is
random
that?
thing. It looked like the crappy. Okay, you guys know the person who did the
No
horrible
worries.
restoration of that one like
Okay.
Jesus
Amy,
painting,
is
and
there
it
any
just
reason,
looked
like,
terrible.
you fired off
Yeah.
a
You
shot
got it right.
from
Yeah. It
Stardust,
looked like that
shot,
beside me, and I went, "What the fuck is
and then
happening?"
What
I was
is
just like, I'm
that?
not gonna say anything because I know it's just roll 20
I
being weird. But
that
I was like,
like
Jesus, what are you?
I know
Okay.
what I'm like. I'm unlikely to move closer
Oh
into
my
battle.
God.
Hey, you.
I think Iris
Because
was
there are
having a
certainly
hallucination, and I
Look,
shared
Well,
it
keep
with
in mind, if
her.
you pay too much
members
attention to
of
this, you're going to
the
see stuff
party
you're
that
not
I
supposed to
have
see.
trained with that I know that they're going to be
Yeah.
better than I am.
Well, that's why we're mostly talking
So
over it, and no one's
yeah, no, I
really paying
will.
attention.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just making sure y'all remember.
The irony is
You're
that
gonna
when
see
you're
stuff.
actually a
I've already
part of the
watched
show,
well,
you
so
don't
even
get
as
to
one
see the show.
I'm paying really close
But
attention. I'm taking notes. I'm writing everything down. If you guys need to know anything, I've got you. I know all his secrets. It's
and
fine.
that brings us
Yeah,
I
to
do
like
have to
I'm
say,
consistent enough for
there's
that.
one next to the three of you down here.
What
that's
were you
still
gonna say,
technically
Khalil?
alive.
I was gonna say, what were you gonna say?
Oh. I was going to rat on
Iris, did you try to
Rhodey
smack me
because very specifically,
I
Ethan
planted
says
a
that the cast
mushroom
members
and I
may
smacked
not
the
be
big
on
one.
TikTok
I think maybe
He smacked
while
his
they're
So
doing
he's gonna
their
try to hit
live
you.
stream because then they get to see the
I
DM's
don't
point of
think a
view.
12 is
And
gonna
I see Rhodey slipping in the TikTok during the game, and I'm yelling at him in the comments like, "Get out, Rhodey!"
No, I turned it
No
on. I see. I
cheating.
literally. No, I didn't even know
I would
you.
never.
No, what I literally did was I jumped in, I sent invites out, and then if I left, I don't even remember leaving it on. But if I left it on, it was just to give the viewer like time, the extension. But I didn't. I don't even know that. I didn't even know that you messaged anything to me. That's so funny.
Likely
They're automatically
story,
added
Rhodey.
in the month.
Likely
Yeah.
story.
For some reason, it added it.
Chaos, me and
Interesting.
you.
I do admit I watched
Extra
the
ability, wisdom, custom
after we
plus
Uh-oh.
finished. Wait. 2 days after I watched the YouTube
It
like
automatically
the results of our
replaces
live
people just
on
put
that. I just put it on the background while I was working, and I saw some things. I was like, okay, I'm just not gonna do anything.
I just watched it, so I don't know what happened.
And I went, I probably shouldn't watch these in the future.
We'll call it a 16, but
So
I'm
I
just
did
gonna
learn my
change
lesson. I'll wait for the
everything
podcast.
now.
Honestly, I didn't give it
5,
too much
10,
energy,
15,
so
20,
nothing will change.
They can go.
I'm not too concerned. I mean, like the things that you can see don't change too much, and typically, I try to hide stuff off screen or duplicate it in the background so you guys can't see it even if you were looking, and then I flip it back up. There are a couple of things you'll see, but outside of that, not much.
Well,
Yeah.
and
So I won't do it
I
again,
didn't
but-
realize how poorly. I wanted to see how poorly everyone else could see because Raz can see pretty well. Like his
Yeah.
vision is. I mean, I've been seeing that stage forever, and then I'm like finding out or realizing that Zach's vision's better than mine. So I wanted to see how good he could see, and then other people being like, "I can't see anything." I'm like, to get hurt? This is awful for them.
Our puny little human eyes.
I
That's
will
why
always
Emmy's
do
so
dynamic
terrified.
because it's a pain sometimes to do, but yeah,
Yeah.
Emmy's got the third best
That
vision
is
in
all
the group.
little ones can do.
Sorry.
She does.
Oh.
Does Iris have like cataracts?
The little ones
I
are
think
making
so.
she's just human too. I mean, she and Red
Yeah.
Bull like, can't see behind them, and Kaida.
Yep.
I was genuinely thinking today specifically about Iris's like posture because immediately
Oh,
I
it's
think
terrible.
Of, like, well, I think of like an old lady with the walker, but then I'm like, no, she's moving around. So I'm like,
She's
does she like
moving
have the
around.
hunchback, or is she just
She's-
like an old lady that's limber and like agile?
She's built like Sophie from Howl's Moving Castle when she was
Oh my
old.
God.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But she could move. She could outpace any of you bitches. At least now she can.
Oh, can it not be invisible at all? I think it's
How old is Iris? Clea?
Between 85 and 90. She's
Oh,
forgotten.
Damn. Okay.
Human years too, eh?
Human years.
We just gotta
Yeah.
make sure she
Wow.
doesn't fall over and she's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as long as she doesn't take a fall.
She doesn't fall. She sleeps. Okay.
Yeah.
I just close my eyes a bit.
That's a natural one.
Is Roz prone still?
I
No,
was
I've never had it.
thinking, and I wonder if one day y'all would be down for the challenge. If
And
we
that
have
is a
enough cast
17
members
to
up
hit.
here during a watch party, having you react as your character.
Yeah.
that'd be funny.
As
It
cute.
is not like that it is cornered by all
That's
these
just more
people
work for
That'd
you.
be cool.
who's going to
Yes,
try
true.
to run away. That
It's
would be
practice.
Director's cut would
Just
be
be us
actual
shit
people in
posting
the
as our character.
Yeah.
the second it hits here, Redval goes first.
Raz just insults everyone for not being as cool as he is. You filthy cowards.
Filthy cowards, gosh darn.
We are in a lot of trouble.
I was gonna say you don't really know Raz yet.
Hey everyone.
Jesus.
I mean, yeah,
He's had a bit of a rough
seriously.
family life, it
I was
seems.
gonna say there's a
Lord.
lot you don't know yet.
Is
Oh,
is Raz jealous of Barrel's dark vision radius, or is Rhodey jealous?
No, Rhodey
For
is.
what it's worth,
Yeah,
it's
like
just-
I
It's
am
right.
for sure. I think it's awesome because like my vision's great for the game, and then being like, wow, but you can see better than this. Like that's gotta be amazing.
He can see through stone.
I know. It was so funny when I was like, when I thought I had the best, and you're like, actually, mine's like 160. I was like, holy crap!
To be fair, that is absolutely cracked.
Yeah.
well, look
I love
here.
it.
Barrel
I
is
love that
one
for
with the rocks,
Dwarf.
man.
Yeah.
God.
But like I said, it made me think about him being like Riddick, where he has to wear the goggles because it's too bright.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh my god, Beryl just with sick ass sunglasses when he's above ground.
Right?
Oh, that'd be cool.
Looks like welding goggles. Oh my god,
Yeah.
that'd be so cool.
You just do your normal attack.
I gotta admit, with Kaida talking about,
Are you
not
clicking
just
on the
Kaida, but
plus
others
attack?
talking
Like,
about
is
the
in the
dragon
chat.
chicken mushroom soup,
Let me just-
it
this is
kinda-
not gonna count, but I'm gonna
it
click
kind
this
of made me want
and see if I
some.
can make it do
Yeah.
I had mushroom soup this afternoon, and I'm very happy.
You know, one
Oh.
thing we could do
I
down the
fucking
road
love soup.
with having
A
people
cookbook.
like Iris and Kaida, eventually we could make our own D&D cookbook. Yeah.
Yeah, a
I do actually have a D&D
not hit,
cookbook.
sadly.
Yeah,
Those
but based
seasons
off
there
of
are
our
pretty good.
game, that'd be
Or,
really
10,
fun.
forgive me.
Can I
Yeah, the
substitute
D&D
dragon chicken?
I
And then
really
it's
want
gonna
us to
here,
like collaborate with that
and then
guy
it
who does
triggers,
Quincy's
Barrel's
Tavern at
Hyacinth.
some point.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
my gosh,
That would be
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you said it.
It'd be fun to
cool.
do that as a merch thing if
He's
we
gotta
ever
move
do
on
like
to
a
his next
Patreon or a
episode.
merch store too.
True.
To have that kind of thing set up.
Yeah, that'd be
Oh,
so
I
fun.
thought of a
This is
like
just
a
your
Patreon
normal
idea
episode.
eventually, if
Click
ever
that
when we
should
ever get
make it
there.
work.
Right.
Since we're all narrators, if like I could see Irish doing it, I don't know if the others would want to, but
No,
like
you're fine. That's,
just
Ross,
reading
I mean,
bedtime
you can
stories
edit it.
as
But
Iris
Oh.
to people as like a
Oh.
Patreon exclusive of like,
I love
hey,
that.
if you wanna
That'd
if
be
you want a
fun.
That's
bedtime story read, she can do it.
Oh my god, but can she make some, like, not just bedtime story, but like, tell stories of her life, and somewhere in there insert why Patty's the worst person ever?
Well,
Yeah,
that
like
you'll have
make
to
it like
find.
a gag.
You have to find out.
Dang.
Maybe it'll
It's
come
like
up
a
again.
second
We
one.
don't know.
Raz just starts doing shame fetish audio.
Hey, Ross,
Oh my god.
what do you wanna do this?
Yikes.
Big yikes.
Even Ethan's like, uh-oh.
In my
Oh, God.
wholesome D&D mud podcast, how dare you?
We've got to vote for a cookbook.
Yeah, I'm all up for the cookbook. I think that's
D
so fun.
D and D and D, and the third D stands for degradation.
Yes, yes, please.
Well, it sounds like it's a winner. Oh my god.
I just can
We each
like
bring our
imagine.
different things.
As soon as it hits
It's
the
like
Yeah.
5 smuts and then just Iris reading.
Yes. It's bedtime
Sweet
story.
little bedtime story.
That would be adorable. Oh my god.
That'd be hilarious.
All right.
Or
The little.
she
the
could
little
read
mushroom
those really
also, so I'm gonna go really
questionable
quick.
ones.
And I'm gonna do my
Oh
best,
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mhm. I got it.
And I
I'll send you.
Wait,
a
you mean
link.
they're not innocent?
mushroom.
The
I
first
know
one.
I have sent you one.
You've
Yeah,
sent me several. I think you
Right,
sent me
there's-
every one you found.
The first one that comes to mind would be Brenda's
No, I'm not.
beaver.
My hair looking like
Oh my god.
Yep.
Um,
Brenda's Beaver.
D&D After Dark.
Brenda's
This is
Beaver gets a
possible.
haircut.
It'll be a higher cost, but it's
What's the other one? I think Artemis sent me one. It's something with a pecker.
Just keep in mind
That's
that
all.
it's
I can't remember what it is though.
Something
Of
with a
course.
pecker.
It's called
Of course he did.
Hi, Sammy.
I'll just read it with the straightest face. I'm like, oh,
Yes.
He's down here. He's little.
Lovely
bitty, he's
little
underneath the
story
dead
of Woody
mushroom.
Woodpecker and his Willy.
That would be hilarious.
In that case,
Oh my
God.
gosh.
stay
You
proud
just
of
read
it
it
and
so
push this
straight,
against him.
and it's
Okay,
like
I did
anyone
see him
listening
Black
would just
Cat
be
one.
cracking up
I'll
laughing.
also
so
let you use
Yes.
this weapon. You can
The
pick
Black
up
Cat
the-
one. Oh,
the-
look, I'm going to send it to you,
the
Cleo.
mushroom for-
Because like those videos are fun
A
and
good
all,
sleep, Pushy.
but the person's in on the joke, you know, like she's laughing along with it. But to have someone read it like it's a kid's
Let me
book
go for this
would
chicken.
be
Oh, that's
so
19
funny.
minutes, Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my
Your
god.
I
Yeah.
think my time has
damage
come.
will kill this thing.
Oh god, Cleo, so good.
Oh my god. What is this book?
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like
You
to
do the sweet old lady
you attack
voice
this
and
little
the,
chicken, knock it
oh,
to the
isn't that
ground,
cute? And it's like, oh my god.
and you can still
Can I
move
take the
or-
whole chicken?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Hold on. I think I found
Do
it.
we have to take
It's like a
something
little
backwards, Rob?
Mrs. Doubtfire
Yeah.
kind of moment.
I just pick something from monsters.
I don't think this is in character, but
Punch and roll for initiative. You're nerdy and dirty.
No.
Patreon.
Look back and goes,
Reminder.
Oh, there's Raz
He knows the
telling
look.
Kaida not to eat that. Don't eat that.
Kaida, having picked up this
We've been muted this whole time.
having picked up this chicken
Yes,
thing,
sir.
Yeah,
Oh,
you have.
no.
I was wondering what happened to you, but I also just figured something happened.
pretty old-fashioned.
I mean, I'm dealing with a lot of chaos right now, but I also was sitting here like, why didn't nobody think my joke about Iris reading a noir version of her life where she's in love with a well-hung tiefling was great? I was so
She would
that
never
was
cheat on
perfect for Patreon. How could everyone not love it?
No,
Well, it is
nobody
fine.
heard it. It's mine.
Once upon a time, his name was Fernando, and he was very
we've
well
got two
endowed.
yeah, don't have a scene.
Which would be good. I'd love it.
Not Patty.
Just looks like a
Fernando.
No, this would be actually. This is why she hates Patty, because Patty stole him away and then broke his
There
heart.
you go.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
dear.
Dang.
I'm excited to learn about
have,
Patty.
She
though.
would be editorializing the whole time. She'd be like,
Chicken
oh, we're
dragon creature is
touching
dead in
up
front of
very
you.
nice.
The two mushroom men are standing next to you, continuing to go hop, hop, hop. There's the
There's
little
somebody.
mushroom.
There's like every, or just there's a million stories, and all of them have Patty as the bad guy.
Yeah, oh my god.
Or just
Hey, should-
variations of the name Patty.
Should we send? Can we send some kind of link on our TikTok live right now, so that way if anybody wants to join our
No.
Discord, they can join our Discord.
No, they have to like go to our Instagram and then go over to, and then go to our link from there. That's the only way to do it.
Yeah, it's in the
Well,
So if
tree.
you're
I
on
know how to
TikTok right
do it.
now, go to Instagram until we get 1,000, or follow us because we need 1,000 followers to add links.
Yeah.
Twinkies. Is there like a QR code that we could just like?
That's what I was wondering if we could put a link from our
I wonder.
into the
I wonder
chat.
if they would like try to block that because they don't. They.
Yeah,
don't-
you'll get a
Yeah.
flag for it. That's what I was about to say.
Bastard.
QR content will get you
We love that.
Maynard.
16 will hit
That is
it.
a
Mhm.
16.
Well, we have a
Now,
YouTube
the
channel,
damage,
obviously, and we have a
because I'm
Discord.
still
So
raging,
anybody on
and
TikTok can
remind
go over there.
me, if I'm correct, or correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, if
because
you'd
of the
actually like to
boom
hear what's
that
going
we
on in
had,
the
my
stream,
rage
other than
level
us
is
chuckle fucks.
Well, they can hear the stream.
talking
They can
over
hear the
it.
stream.
Yeah.
I know, but we're talking.
Well, no, but that is the
Oh, yeah.
point. Is
Yeah.
that if they think this seems interesting and they haven't seen it yet, then they can go watch it, like without us talking over it.
True,
So,
true.
okay, maybe it's the
But yeah, no, it's
I
gonna be fun.
will
next
pay
section. Okay.
for just
That's just the base
a
weapon attack.
soundtrack
For some
of the
reason,
mushroom
sheet is not
mushroom
liking my
hops.
additional effects,
Yes.
So on top of that
Hop,
is
hop, hop.
a D4.
It's so
Do
good.
like a Dan to Dan thing where it's like hop, 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 hop.
They're
and then it just
basically
turns into that.
minions.
Chill.
Yeah, it's just our intro. There's no other sound or music or anything.
Yeah.
It's your first episode. You're like, what the heck is going on?
I think we did like a.
Wait, hang
I
on.
think we did
I'm
like a
seeing
mushroom spinoff that makes it really sad. Of like,
I see was a
like the
14.
mushroom's finally going home after
And
a
D12
long, well
plus
diver's day of work, and then
That would be
oh, I'm getting really dark about this. Never mind. I'm gonna stop.
Oh,
No, it's like that one
Oh,
really
trigger
sad
request. You
edit of
actually
the
rolled
Lethal
a
Company
four- you rolled
worker.
14
who's-
damage
Oh my
plus
god.
the two- the
We could
seven.
do it like the Christmas
So it's
special
20
where they
points
had
of
the whole
one-
Wookiee
21
scene
points.
where it had
So if we're
no
glancing over and
dubbing
knock these
or
guys,
even
like,
subtitles
at, like, one
whatsoever.
of them
So it was
down,
just Wookiees growling for about
or
10 minutes.
you
We could just do the hup
character
hup
both
for
of
like
these,
10 minutes and say it was
fungal
this
men
epic
and
story
they both
about
fall to
the
the ground.
mushroom people, and you just don't understand what happened.
In which case, with that, the
Oh my
power
god,
and
wait,
the
it's
strength of
it's
that
a
swing,
it's a
I
smut
just let
scene,
the
but the
axe
only
kind of
dialogue is
swing and then open the street,
oh dear
Oh my
god.
god, that's hilarious.
Oh,
And
that's
then we
terrible.
have to include
I
we
am
have to
up for
include the
that
screaming
challenge.
hops.
You know, I
Oh,
was
I mean, there will be one at the end.
I was thinking when it comes to the podcast edit, if we post any of this out like afterwards and we want to get monetized, apparently we have to watch how much language we put on our video for the monetization.
So,
I
looks
was
like it's
thinking about
1 point
censors,
because
but
I
it would
got
be really funny if the only censor I put was the hup hup,
slashing.
and then that would, instead of the beeps over, I think that would be so.
What's this?
Wait, do you mean on YouTube we have to have censors to get
If you want to,
monetized?
if you want to stay, if you want to get monetized, you can't allow. You have there's limitations on how much profanity you can have in videos.
Oh, okay.
So,
I mean, we have to
censor-
become a partner before we can even do that. We got a long way to go.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying if we're putting out content, you can't. If you want anything to be monetized, it has to have the
Yeah.
right, amount of censorship on.
I mean, trust me, I love the Hup Up as a censor. That's a really good censor. It's funny as
That is
hell.
good.
Yeah, I was like, I just now thought of it. I was like, oh my god, that would be the best one because I hate the beeps, and so that would be
Yeah.
so funny.
Yeah.
That have like crusted over eyes.
I just have to clip it
and they
and
just
just
look kind
hold
of
on to it as my
odd and
censor.
off-putting.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Idlevice is asking, what is the hup? Okay, so when the hups happen, we gotta be quiet for it, especially the screaming hups. Okay.
Yeah, when he almost kills me. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not what's important here.
No.
Are we at that yet? Because I want to tell you what happened because I think it's so funny.
No,
No,
nah,
we're
we're
not
not there
there
yet.
yet.
It's a bit later.
Okay.
Yeah, we gotta
So
wait.
I'll tell you the lead up then. So the remaining once half their HP is gone, one of them dies. Right? That's how that works.
That's chicken
And then they have to, if the last one is alive, he's allowed to do that one attack, and then he can punch you, which is mostly ineffectual. And he had one hit point left, and so I think it was Iris who tried to hit him twice and missed twice, and I think Red Bull tried to hit him too and missed, and so I was just sitting there like on 1 HP, like I guess I'm not gonna get to use this cool thing that I really like. And everybody whiffed him, and I'm like, hell yes, I get to do it.
He was the main character. This
And
mushroom.
then I critted.
Yeah, I know. I was like, and it's so hard to hit my character. So when you actually
Yeah, that was
did it,
ridiculous.
and then you finally, and then it was that strong. I was like, "Are you joking?" Because oh my gosh, yeah, I had one.
It just
HP left.
balances out for all the other times you didn't get
I know,
hit
right?
and would have gotten 1 or 2 knocked from you. That would have knocked me on my ass. Like that would have completely knocked me out.
Well, and hearing everybody's reaction to the number 11 being like, oh, "Are you still up?" And I was like, "I got 1 HP."
There's
I had
all that,
8
and then you jumped in the hole at the end, and I was really hoping that that would have just knocked you out.
You have.
And you were fine, and I was like, damn it, okay.
Never mind.
I love
He
that.
did give
I love
himself
it.
some HP before that. He had 6 HP.
I did, yeah.
I know,
I used
I
yeah, he
all of my
touched
health
himself.
And
back.
it was a D6 of damage if he had messed up his dex save, so it would have been. He would have had to max the damage to like fall unconscious. How
Yeah.
funny would that have been if him
It would have
falling
been
and just going
hilarious.
unconscious? Yeah, I mean we have a big party, so I have to kind of balance around the fact that like some of you are extremely hard to hit, and some of you have like Raziel's going to be
Zero
really
HP.
complicated because he has he's going to have really high saves, crazy armor, and
Yeah.
also he is generally hard to just like make fail things. So it's
Right.
and he can heal himself, so he's
Yeah.
basically like uber tank.
Possessive.
He was a solo for a
so
little bit,
paid.
He's got to be self-sufficient.
And
But yeah,
she
I
thinks of her own 3 kids, and she's like,
I didn't know how
and then
everybody
she
else's like
cracks it over
characters
the
were
head with
built.
her staff.
So realizing how high my
Valid.
Yeah, for sure.
what is it, AC is,
Okay, go ahead.
like
All right,
I was
so double-handed overhead attack.
with the
at,
game we've
6
been
for
playing, my character gets hit hard
Let's
all
see
the
how it goes.
time.
Was it
13 will
13
hit.
hit?
Yeah, 13 hits.
Excellent. Yeah, and
it cracks down, and we do
Oh,
11 damage.
Do you want to knock it any specific direction? Because this thing it's so small, I'm willing to say, like, I know normally that's not supposed to work that way, but I'm fine with letting you do it.
And if it weren't for the fact that you have smites, you would not be quite as strong because you need
Right.
those to do the extra damage.
I'm gonna
You
put
know,
it
normally like the
because it can't
biggest
go
damage you
quite
can do is
that far.
two-handed plus
No, it's 5 feet,
the
so I'll say
smite,
it goes here,
but you
'cause
know.
you can knock it like 5 feet away from you.
Right, and I'm still only using one-handed weapons because
Ooh.
of my
Sails
shield.
over
But
again. This is
yeah.
how she
Give me
shows
give me
that
one.
she cares,
This
you
is
know?
when
Like,
she kicks back the chicken dragon back at
you look
Beryl
hungry,
again.
take this. And I don't know if she would step forward to make another swing
Oh yeah, she
at
just says,
this
"You
little
look
guy,
hungry," to Beryl.
but could I turn around and just kind of look into the hole, like just peer and see
Sure.
what could be seen?
Oh, I'm
So
glitching here. Oh,
you
no.
can't make an active perception roll, but your passive is.
Again, this
what
is why it's really nice
I believe
that you
it's
guys record your own
14.
audio,
It might be 15.
because there's times too
It
when
is 15.
Ethan tries to make his animal noises and
You
they
with the
glitch
15,
through
you can
Discord.
see
just
that
peeks
Oh,
out.
yeah.
Yeah,
Whoa,
and so I
open
just
it.
am like,
I clicked
I'm
it
like,
open.
well,
I was
we'll
like,
hear it later, and so
Don't
I
open the
I
door.
make sure when I listen through,
It takes
I'm
an
like,
action
oh,
to
that's
open
what
it,
it
but
sounded like. Like that's really
you
neat,
can see that
because
it
we
is
didn't
some
hear it
kind
in
of
the
a door.
game.
It will take
And it's like,
some
yeah,
kind of an action
but
to
it
open.
sounds
You're not
great
sure
when he
exactly how
records it.
functions, but you can tell it is a door that would somehow be openable.
Yeah, Iris throwing dead bodies at someone is a love language of just like, here, buddy. Here. Or like a cat bringing you a dead mouse. It's like, ah, I got this for you.
Oh, that's good.
I'm hoping I can. I use a shotgun mic to do the Discord and the recording, and so I'm hoping. You be quiet, you. I'm hoping that I can like lean back and make louder noises because it's directional. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
try. I could use my professional setup in my booth, but it's just going to like I only have one screen in there, and I can't really manage everything doing that.
I mean, it's not. I don't think it would. I don't think it's the mic's fault, because like if I were to do anything too loud on my phone, like it'll do that. So I just think it's Discord, because it doesn't come through when you send me your recordings. It doesn't come through like too loud on that. So that's why I'm always surprised a little bit when I hear what it actually sounded like. I'm like, well, it didn't even clip on the mic, so I don't understand what like it's considering too loud. But
all right, on their turn, the door does open.
Yeah, I'm hoping eventually we can do Riverside for both the reason that like it'll make the recording for us, and also so that we can like not you won't have to hear the clips and stuff because the quality tends to be better.
Oh yes,
right.
Oh, this will be perfect if you fall asleep.
Yeah, Discord.
Oh
does
my
that.
god.
Oh yeah, more mushrooms
It's
come
good
because
timing for these two
Cleo falls
fellows.
asleep.
Good night.
Yeah.
Rolling a 3.
Oh, that's really unfortunate.
He's just taking a rest.
I'm trying not to look, but you have these
Yeah,
windows
like,
that pop
stoop
open
to
that catch
pick
my
up
eye, and I'm like, what is
the
that?
mushroom, and as she's kind of bent over, she just kind of
Yeah, those were always gonna be there. I do this a lot where I'll like I have
right behind.
reserve monsters in my mind, but I'll copy and paste them and put them somewhere where you can't see them, and then I'll move them over. I do that a lot where I'm like, there's another set up there, but I'm not gonna bring them out yet.
These two little mushroom guys come out of
He's
this
about to
door.
do
You
it.
leave it open this time.
not yet.
Yeah, he just did it once.
Try
He's about to do
pick
it
up Iris.
again.
You're talking about the hops?
This is where
He just did a couple.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the screaming hop specifically.
Oh no,
Oh
no,
no,
the
that's
screaming
in
hop.
a few rounds, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Once Raz is up there.
Because it's after
Yeah,
I
they're
kill
out-
the
they're out
first
of
one,
ability. So they can,
and
they
then
cannot,
or
unfortunately, do anything
Redvault,
else,
I
but they
think,
try to
kills the
scoop
first
up
one.
Iris. You see another.
yeah. I think you
set of
did.
these mushrooms
Actually, I
try
don't
to
remember,
scoop
but
up
I'm pretty
Can't
sure.
remember because
that
I know
Redvault, but
I know
they
Redvault did one where it was
So,
like this epic like
that brings
swing,
us to
and I can't
Roz.
remember what all he got.
That was, I think, the dragon chicken because he messed it up, and he killed several of the. He was like
okay,
stomping
yeah.
around on the big chicken,
Mm-hmm.
doing all that damage there. I think it was a longsword attack because it was pretty high, but it was still like lower than Red Vault's
Oh yeah,
general
because
damage.
Zach realized that it was rolling the smite or whatever funny. And so
Yeah,
we
that's
had
why I
to
was
fix
like,
it.
well, they're dead, and then you were like, oh wait, no, it's this, and I was like,
And it was down by like 1. Like I think
yeah,
yeah.
he had, like,
I was
you
like
said,
1
and
short.
you go, oh, it's
it's
12 instead of 13, and I was like, okay, all right.
Hearing your reaction to that, I was like, crap. I was so close.
I was trying to not play it up whenever Cleo was trying to punch them too. I was like, it's fine. If she kills him, it's fine. It's just it's the one-off random thing it can do. It's whatever.
But hearing how excited you got when you got to do their attacks, I thought it was so fun.
I just wanted to do the scream because I was so excited to do the like lemon grab. Like,
get to do it.
like I'm so excited to do that.
Shouldn't be any reason. I mean, I know the walls are kind of wonky, but yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay. And then I'm going to attack these guys.
Okay.
Let's see.
Kaida's just like, I'm
Yeah,
not
he-
inviting him to the feast next time.
No barbecue for you.
Let's see. All right, so I'm attacking. Yeah, I do like the arsenal of like weapons that I have with this
And
character,
then,
like the spear. Now I have that scimitar. I want
I
to
did a
see what that ends
longsword
up
one-handed
being like.
for them, but I oh wait,
but,
I don't have a shield, so yes, it's still
Yeah,
one-handed.
you can't use it
so
two-handed.
14.
Oof.
Yeah,
okay.
it's
that will
a
get them
fun
too.
build for me because I've never
Um,
played anything like this
you
before.
managed to cleave
It's
through
just
both
like,
of these little mushroom
I can
bullets.
be a character that takes
This
action
is when he.
instead of having to sit
that
back.
damage roll is adding your divine.
There he is. This is when it's happening. When he's correcting with
No, he
the
rolled
spite.
an 8, it looks like. Oh, it is. Oh, it did at his. That's
Yeah, this is where
I want to hear Ethan,
we
the
realized
joy in
it.
Ethan's voice.
Well, but this is this
you
is when I'm
cleave through
attacking
one of
him.
them, and
He
the,
he
like,
later
little
attacks
pot that they're
me
holding
after this
falls to the
attack.
ground,
Oh, I know.
And the other one sits there and goes, "Hup."
But I think it's a few steps from now. But it might be the next one.
He's like looking at his buddy.
But you heard the
with
happy.
car.
Oh, he's alive.
By the way, that was so sad when the one lone mushroom was still alive, and he's like, "What do I do now?"
The fact that he had no attack actions, it was like
Poor thing.
just there. Can I activate my divine smite
God.
for my long
Can before your attack. You have divine favor on, right? Is that divine favor that's on?
I will say the
casted
weird
it
thing
in
about
the last
editing this down is I actually after
After you woke up, you
reco-
cast
or
it
I
off,
edit it all and send
I
it
knew I had
to
something at the end.
Ethan and
Divine
everybody
Favor's
to
an extra
post.
D4.
I actually
Okay, so
like
roll- you do
anticipate
need to add a
being able to
D4 to that
listen
damage.
to it
So let's see.
on
Okay.
the
You
podcast,
technically
like
got 11, so add a D4.
like
and let's see
whether
what
it's Spotify or whatever. I'm always just kind of waiting
They're
for
barely- they're still
it to
alive.
go up because I'm like, okay, cool, I can listen to it
Okay,
now,
they're
which is
still
weird
alive.
because I can't listen to it while
That's
like that while I'm
happening.
editing.
But
But I do I thoroughly enjoy
and
it.
then let's see. I don't really have anything else I can do. So,
Wow,
yeah,
Raz,
I'm
taking
gonna end my
forever.
turn there.
Okay.
Well, I'm like I got
These
movement
next
actions, but
rounds,
I'm like I
all
don't
of
I
you
don't really have
feel
anywhere I
as
can
the
go,
dungeon for just
and so I'm like,
30 seconds
I'll just stay
feels
here,
like
I guess.
it's
So.
shifting. Almost like the whole place is moving,
Oh,
and then it's like it
yeah.
hits a lock. It's almost like it spins.
That's
for just
also
like
the
a,
best part about
like a-
editing. I can take all
maybe a
those
quarter
long
inch.
pauses
Your
I
whole body
make out.
feels it move.
All
and
your
Makes it
long
sound like-
pauses out. No.
Yeah.
as it does that,
Makes
all
it
of
sound like you
hear
planned.
a
Everybody
humming
planned what they
noise
were gonna
come from
say.
down this, door that
Well,
you
it
didn't
just
came
makes
realize-
I think only some of
It
you
does make
Sorry.
it sound just
but through
smoother.
this
Didn't
door,
realize what.
you hear
Didn't
a
realize
humming
how
noise. It's like
often I say until I'm listening to it on a
and as
podcast.
it
I'm like,
does that,
Jesus fuck, just
you also hear
just
a
don't
lot
say
of
anything, and that's better.
screaming continuing down there.
Well, there
It's-
are
It's
times when
specifically
I
about how-
consider taking. I do take out some not from
so-
you
okay.
specifically, but in
Oh,
general.
fair.
And but the problem is if we don't have those it doesn't sound as natural
Mhm.
because it is a casual game. It's not a performance. So if I took
Yeah.
out all the ums, it would sound too manufactured.
Weirdly polished, yeah.
Mhm. And so
It's
I
just
leave
a-
those in.
No, it's good. It's
So
a
you have to take
New
the hit,
Year's goal
Cleo.
of mine. That's fair.
You'll
Break
cut
that.
out all the ums and uhs of all the other characters, but leave yours.
That way it doesn't sound so manufactured. See
Oh,
that one
wow,
girl,
that's
she
good.
can't read them right. No, I'm
You
just
can
kidding.
tell what caused it: the mushrooms,
Terrible.
spores,
No, it's my
whatever,
goal
so,
to not to either
she's
just wait
unconscious,
until I
but she
form
seems
a
to be
full
sleeping at
thought
least somewhat
or
peacefully, maybe just
talk
having a
normally.
drugged-induced state.
It
But
does
this
take
is a very
practice.
You realize with the
thought-inducing
best
game.
shape she's had.
So
That
to
is
have
true.
an is a natural thing because it's like
She doesn't have to get
you
up
have to be
pee
like,
or nothing. It's
what
great.
should I do next? Instead of
She is in
reading
her
out loud
best
your
mode,
thoughts,
correct.
you just do the
Maybe I'll
it's
switch
like
to
the
dot instead of
This is like the
Something's
drugs
going
they
on
give
in my
them
brain.
the
I
old
just
folks'
gotta
home is
process
the
it
best.
first.
Yeah,
She's
why is it though
unconscious,
that
and then she notices that you can
sounds
tell
like
that you can take
wiser
action.
Right?
than
Wake her up.
implies it's like a vector. It has a direction
I
versus just
Or
is
contemplation.
yeah.
See
I'm
you,
just gonna start
Chaos.
going. Nope.
Bye.
Chaos.
Bye.
I was just
Farewell.
I wasn't sleeping. I just got smashed.
Farewell.
What? Oh,
I love how Iris
And
refuses
then
to acknowledge that she was asleep too. She's just like, I'm just resting my eyes.
Yeah, I thought that was a good character take too.
Also thinking about soup.
You're such an
I'll
old
put a
lady. I
random
love
symbol
it.
on you to symbolize that you're prone. Sorry, Beryl. What else would you like to do?
Where did you say? Now that I've moved up here, I can see a little bit more. Where did you say that the rumbling was all around us, like the whole thing was shifting?
Yeah,
but then you said there was like
it
a
felt like the
growl or a
entire
rumble.
dungeon level you're on, like moved.
I'm excited
to
to
the
see
right
what
by,
that
like an
like
inch or two,
movement
and then like hit
thing
a
ends up
lock. It
becoming.
almost felt like you were on a gear that like
I
shifted.
think it's just
and
shuffling of
and so it kind of had that like
maps.
reverberating effect.
I think it could be someone coming in or
And
out of the
then
well.
you hear the scream.
Well, I was
Ooh.
wondering if it was like a timer kind of thing, like it's shifting like a clock, like,
Beryl, while he's
and then eventually it'll get to like the final stage. I don't know.
Iris to wake
Yeah, I know.
is going to then kind of close his
I'm just, like I
eyes
said, I'm just
and
excited to
put
see what it ends up
palm
being.
flat on the ground.
I do have a book. I did this for old D&D campaigns where I have just like guesses of what's going to happen in the campaign and I date them. And then if or when it happens, I'm like, aha. And then that's it. It's just for me to be
Just
like,
self-satisfaction.
The door's open now, but I don't actually see anything
That's
in there.
great.
With tremor sense out to 60
I mean, even
Oh,
if
this
the
is when we
DM says
find out his.
something.
the presence of
Go
any
ahead,
Go
sorry.
ahead.
other
No, you go ahead.
creatures or
This is when we
beings
find
or
out
feel
Barrel's
or
like tremor
sense
sense at
anything that would
60.
give me any more
Yeah.
Yeah,
context about
y'all
Oh,
look
man.
away for a
happening
sec.
with
Y'all look away from the screen for a
turning
second.
I
I'm
love how
watching.
you're like, wait, crap, you could see like everything.
That's 60 feet.
Hearing
Yeah.
your disappointment in how big it is, you're like, what?
I'm actually, I like that he
Wow.
can see
this
this.
lasts for
There's
10
just,
minutes.
it's going to be confusing, I think, a
Then
little
How
bit
many
for
times can
him,
you use
but
Right.
we'll see.
Proficiency bonus
Yeah,
for a long
the
rest,
thing
so
about
twice
even
in a row.
DMing, like,
Also,
because I like the
that
collaborative
was making an
storytelling
assumption that
thing,
we're standing on stone.
is
This
that
looks
I'm
like
not
stone.
doing
Oh
a
yeah.
ton of like this.
Um,
What I do is
okay,
I write
yeah, so
notes
you
where it
can
says like
sense
these things are true
there
about the
are
world,
two of
these
the
things are
little
rumored
chicken
about the
chicken
world,
babies
and
to
these
the
things
south,
are, you know, myths
west
about
of
the
you
world,
down this
basically.
direction.
And then like some of
There's
them,
two down
the
there.
things that are true are
There's
always
two
true,
here.
and then the rest of it's all
Directly
kind of
above
malleable
the mob
around like
chicken.
what
Right.
you guys do.
There are two of them here.
And so the truth things are based largely on what you guys are doing, who you are as people, what you've given me as backgrounds. Those things are all true. And that's kind of like
Remind me what
how I've
tremor
made
sense
it work.
specifically says about how it
That's
functions.
cool.
it's a
Do you have
good
that
way
book
to do it.
saved? I can pull it up if you don't.
I like it.
I have the book near me.
It's impressive.
I like that. That's cool.
They have a very
That
very
is.
handy sort of index at the back, so I can pinpoint the location of creatures and moving objects within the
One thing
range
that comes up
provided,
later
that are
that
both in
you
contact with the same surface,
vaguely
like the ground
touched
or floor,
on in the
ceiling,
first
or
session
the same liquid. Can't detect
that I
creatures or
didn't want to
objects in
comment
the air
on in the middle of the
doesn't count
game
as a form of sight.
was the
Okay.
Tin Man
I can pinpoint the location of
character
moving things on the
because you gave him a very
One, two,
robotic voice and you
seven.
said, you know, the guy whose armor was
That
made of
you
like
can
tin.
sense,
And then I'm like, so he's basically a robot then,
location
because it's like
as
I'm assuming
um,
as me, not as
you can
character,
sense that the
that
ones that are that I
this
mentioned
character is
already,
not wearing
and
armor,
then
that
to
it's
the
just his
north of
body.
you,
And
and
I'm
then
like, if that's
down,
true, I'd like to see what
and
that
to
implies
a
for
little bit
characters in the
west,
world.
there is
And
there
so
are
it's
two
like, it's
things
neat.
moving.
It's
You
another
can't- I
random
mean,
character
you
I'm
cannot
excited to learn more
physically see
about.
where they are. I've got a bunch
Yeah.
of maps. Hang on.
Just a little,
you
just a
See
little giggle and go
feel
away.
60 feet from
Yeah.
there. God, hang on.
Bye, Daniela.
Because
So
I'm
they're
also
not just
trying to
through
account
that
for like,
Bye.
Bye.
I'm trying to account for like how
like
small
Farewell.
and big. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, you can sense. Sorry, two things currently. You can sense two things moving north.
Sometimes forget Danny's Australian.
Directly up from you and then down. In the there's a level below you. You can feel them moving.
Yeah, that's what I was figuring based on what you're saying. I will quickly communicate to Kaida behind me, like, look out, there's two more of the chickens coming from that passageway.
I'm just gonna swing around and be like, more?
You put too many options in this space. I just want to let you know, Ethan, because as a
That'll do me.
player,
Your turn.
I'm a loot goblin and I'm an
really going to
explorer
move
in
up
video
because I've
games.
been
All
left
right.
behind. And I'm not going
And
to the
so,
darkness on my own.
in
Thank
this
you.
space, with you introducing this big room with a portal, but then also introducing this hole with screaming voices, as a player, I'm like, I want to explore everything. But the problem is, in the game, I'm like, my character wouldn't care about the other stuff. So I'm like, I gotta play to the character. Crap! Like, I'm right next to the cool portal and I can't go to it.
Watch the fizzle
Yeah,
of
I mean
magic
that's
on my hand
part of the
and
fun,
swear
right?
a
Because you
little
missed
bit,
the third option
but
is what
I
Cleo's character
also
keeps saying is like, just leave.
Just leave.
Like you guys
Yeah.
have what you need.
for
And
Right.
so it's kind of like that moralistic, like
you would hear me muttering under my
pragmatistic,
breath
like,
of,
well, what are you gonna do? Do you want to?
Mhm.
You can leave now. You can go look at whatever the portal thing is, or you can jump down in the hole. And all three of them had directions you could have gone. Just like the doors, they're like there were different places you could have been.
Right.
And all of them weren't like super incredibly unique or anything like that, but they're different.
Mhm.
And same thing with this. Like you guys could have left, and something would have happened, something else would have happened. It's kind of I like the whole like the world.
Yeah, I'll take
You guys are the heroes of the story, but the world doesn't revolve around you, right?
Right.
So like
right here.
there are things that will happen or are happening all the time, and that may depend on you. You may be able to intercede or change things, but if you don't, then you know things just happen.
Right.
So they'll keep happening if you don't intercede, and if you do intercede, like what happens to the other thing you didn't do?
Chicken.
You know?
Yeah, you'll
Yeah.
you'll hear a moment towards the end before we jump in the tunnel where me comes out a little bit in the character of like you know, we could check out the portal before we jump in the hole. and I listen to it, I'm like, God, that was really me just be like, I just want to see all of it.
Okay. And that makes it fair
Yeah, I mean, there's
immediately
something with the portal. There's you haven't checked in on that, like you know, there's that attendant and that chocobo
Yeah.
like bird guy that are both on that standstill. You don't know what's going on with them,
Mhm.
and there's somebody screaming downstairs. So I mean, all of those things have things going on, and
Right.
depending on like what you do, those things will either continue unimpeded or like you know, and that doesn't mean they're good or bad. It's not like you know, save one person or whatever. But I like doing stories that way of like there's stuff other people have intended. That's why I also do like the immersive endings, because I did the one for this week is something that has been happening while you guys were doing this.
Right. I like
And if you guys had been
Really cool.
faster, it wouldn't have happened. So that's part of it too.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I
and that's
I
not good or
fear-
bad. It just
Yeah,
happens.
yeah.
Yeah, I would fear being in Ethan's brain because there's just a lot happening in there every moment of the day.
A lot of it is also just jazz.
Oh,
I mean, I'm just like
So you like
honestly,
jazz?
You like
most
jazz?
most DMing is honestly just like I'm gonna spitball this, and then like, and that's why I'm not saying specifics, because like you know something may happen, and I'm like, oh, you know what? No, that's not what was gonna happen there. What's gonna happen there is actually something else,
Mhm.
because a lot of it's just like
Schrodinger's dungeon?
it's very much like I like collaborative storytelling as an art form more than any other type of storytelling. Like it's more you guys crafting a narrative alongside me than it is like me saying, "Here's this thing I want to say."
Yeah, you're not
And I
pushing us
think that's
down
what
the
makes it so
rails.
fun.
You're
No.
Yeah, you're putting us in the
You
theme
can-
park and seeing where we go.
Right, you could have left with Cleo, and it
Right.
would not have changed. You know, you will still have what happens. You'll do the things you want to do. It'll just, you know, other things will go on.
That is all
Mhm.
they
And
can
that's
do.
kind of how it
It
works.
can't do anything despite that. Kaida, it's your turn.
But yeah, I've I very specifically have made my
just so I know
character
I'm being
a
here.
certain way to where it's like
When you said they were
if I'm
friends
trying to
about
stay
Southwest of
true
this
to the
passage,
character, I have to
oh
make
my God.
certain
The
choices.
passage
That's why I'm
behind
like,
me,
I
or
know you
kind of
guys
to
are
my
gonna get
left,
mad,
right,
but I
is
gotta
not
do
up
this.
there with that.
Like I'm sorry.
No, it's the two that literally
So-
just ran up to you. He meant those.
But yeah,
Oh,
he
okay. I can barely see the circle.
he's
of
not
light,
one to
so
stand
I'm
around
really
and wait
concerned
for a
with
lot
that.
of discussion.
Alright.
It
He's a
is
man of
pitch
action,
black
so
for you, but there is
it becomes
actually given the fact that you
an
can't
issue
see
when
you have
everybody's trying to
disadvantage them,
decide what we're gonna
but
do.
there is
He's like,
there's one
I'm
right way
going.
in front of him that tried to fight you.
Unless there's some
Well,
kind of
there's
like
actually
I'm
one
going for that
right
one.
here that tried to
there's
fight you.
discussion on how we're gonna go do something.
No, when I have my
I'd try not to
side with
push
the
past that,
ranged
but
melee,
if
can
it's
I
like
hit more than one at
if
once?
if
You can
we're
only
being
hit
pulled in
one
3
right
directions,
now,
then
but
my
as a
guy's like, well, I'm
fighter,
going this way
as you
then.
get more
The same thing
attacks,
happened
you
with
get
the
different
door.
abilities that let you
It
do
was
different
like,
things. So right
like
now,
all right,
Maybe
if
that's
y'all are
what I
gonna
was
argue
thinking
about
of,
which
that
way we go,
eventually
then
I
I'll
could
just
hit
pick.
more.
And so,
right, or if you use a like great axe like Redvald is doing, he can do a thing.
One
called
of these
Feed.
days, for
So if
some
you hit something,
reason,
then you can
you
swing
saying
again.
that makes me think
But
that
you
one of
have
these
a
days
weapon that
Iris is
your
gonna put you in a
master rolls.
headlock so that the
Miss,
team
you
can
still
make a
do damage,
decision,
which
just
is a
force
benefit
you to
right now
win.
because you have to roll
Full Nelson.
take the lower number.
Yes.
But that's what I'm saying. Like I
Okay.
intend me as the
So I'm going for the
player.
one
I
that's
try not to
Yeah.
like over push it. But when it's like when I notice we're in a
both of those
10-minute discussion on if we're gonna walk
do
through
your
a door,
damage. 19 out of 19.
then I'm like, then we're walking through
There's
this
one to your
door.
immediate left and one
It's
like
like if
down
nobody's
from
like
is
got
where you
any like real thing, and my character's already
one
kind
to
of
my
like
immediate
leaning this way,
That one is
and
dead.
everybody's just kind of like, well, maybe we should, and
And
like
if you would
nobody's
like
agreeing
to,
on
because
anything, then I'm like,
letting
okay,
people
I'm
do
gonna
this
go.
as a bonus action, you can pick it up.
It's also
And
one
it's
of the
just
reasons I wanted to
go
start
ahead.
you guys out at first level, because
All right,
this is
there we
the
go.
way that I DM is pretty different from how most people are used to it.
Would you like to move?
Most of the time, there's an adventure. If you played a lot of traditional D&D, there's like a pre-built story that you play from a book, and it has like specific things that happen. And some DMs don't run that straight. Some of them run it straight with like different things they add to it, and some of them like branch way off of it. And I just don't. I've always liked the free, especially like narratively. I really like the.
It does.
You're gonna have a lot of choices, and so it was one of the first things I did. It said like, here's a bunch of doors,
2 points of
which
piercing
I know
damage,
is like the
subtract
worst thing
2
you can
from your
do as a
health,
DM.
and I
But I
need
did it
you
on
to do
purpose
some
to say
saving
like,
throw.
here's how I'm gonna run the game. Is you're gonna have a
Apparently
lot of
there's
doors,
a
and
mushroom here too.
at
that
level
grows
one,
up
a lot of your choices are based
I don't
around
see him
survival.
down
You
there.
know what I mean? Like
Love
it's
that.
like you're just trying to
You're
stay
the
alive.
he is
Mm-hmm.
you're
So you
fine.
can make it to
He
level
doesn't
3 or
affect you.
4 or 5 and be harder to kill because it gets really
Redvald
hard
directly
later
in
on.
front of you.
Later.
But early on, it's really easy to accidentally
Redvald,
one-shot you guys like
directly in
Ross.
front of you on your turn, you're starting to notice these
Yeah.
other chicken creatures are rushing up. They seem to be less interested in you. This one in front of you tried to attack you, but almost immediately turned around to start trying to devour whatever
Oh
the
yeah,
body of
this.
this creature in front of you is. All of them are
I was
starting to do this
trying to figure out what you were
together. All of
trying to
them are rushing up and
do
trying
with
to bite
this.
into her, and
What
you
was
watch
supposed
as
to
they do
happen?
this.
Like,
Their
were you trying to make them
bodies
do
are like
something and it
melding
failed?
into
So
was just-
they,
chicken in a
the way
very
this
creepy
mechanically
kind of
works
like
is
anglerfish.
that,
If you think about
and I don't think this
anglerfish
is too much of a
merged
spoiler. I
together,
think Zach has got
it
this
almost
mostly
seems like
figured
they're
out.
eating their way
Is
into
that the chickens and the little dragon chickens and the big dragon chickens are symbiotic.
Yeah, that's
They are able to fuse back into each other. So if at least 2 of the little dragon chickens manage to goop into the big dragon chicken, it comes back.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
I
you guys
goop
were about to
into
have
it.
like over and over again boss fight.
Oh,
Amazing.
that's
So
fun.
in front of you is this first one.
there's a
think
lot of
Would
Aaron
its health
figured that out
fully
quick
body
reset?
too.
horror type stuff.
Has bitten onto the leg.
But it's what?
Of
Would
this
its health
larger
fully
one, and
reset
you
as
watch
well, or
start
would
to
it get
fuse
2
into the
chickens
leg,
worth of
and the
health?
leg starts to
It's like
regain
because they
mass
only have 1
because
HP
it's like,
each, and that's
fattened out. You
intentional.
can
That
see it
they're
starts to
basically just
bridge.
like fodder for the
Right
bigger
in front
chicken
of
to
you
like
here,
consume.
Fuel.
something
Yeah.
similar.
Cool.
It would start
Chicken
off
where
at
it's biting
half,
onto
which
it,
it didn't
and
have a
it's
ton of
gonna
hit points
fuse into
anyway.
its muscles, and you can
And then
feel
like
the body of it
it would
touching
for
its
every
skin.
additional chicken
And
it
it
can
sure
like
looks like that's
merged
what's
with, it would gain a little bit more HP. That was kind of the idea.
Fucking horrifying.
Everybody figured out pretty quickly it was like that
We
was
warned y'all
whatever they were doing was
that there's
bad,
gonna be
and so
bad.
they
I'm
started like
not
shutting
dead
it down,
yet.
which is great.
Mhm.
But the body horror aspect of this is going to be like a theme in the campaign, so I wanted to like introduce that early too. Of like these things are trying to jump in, they're biting onto their mother or whatever, and seemingly eating it, but their mouths are like gooping into it and turning into the monster itself.
Onto and purposefully crush.
You know, if you think about it, it's like a
portions
commentary
of
on
the
society.
Okay. Roll.
In a way,
roll an
capitalism
attack
is the bad guy.
and a
You know, that's what I was thinking.
If we feed the monster too long, no, whatever.
It starts to devour us.
Oh boy.
Whoa.
Yeah, that I'm gonna say like you're able to kind of stand over this thing and prevent them from moving into certain parts of it, but unfortunately you miss the like body of this chicken that's merging into it. It like dodges out of the way as it's trying to form back into the body.
So Ethan, how many people do you usually have in a campaign?
I don't like this, guys.
So it varies. Sorry, I was just moving.
Anything else you'd like to do?
I typically run games about like 6 to 7 players. I'm actually going to have to leave in like 30-ish minutes because I'm running a game tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I run alternating games every Thursday.
Oh wow.
So I will like I'm running a game of 7 tonight, and I have a game of 6 next Thursday, and then it'll swap.
Staff to kind of help her.
So Yeah, it's that's typically how I run. I don't tend to do much more. I don't like to run games of less than 3, and I
Yeah.
don't like to run games for more than 7 or 8.
What number do you prefer?
I think 6 is really solid. I think 6 is fun. You can really challenge. You can get into like, you know, that kind of feeling of like you're fighting a god, but you're only like level 5. You can do that with 6 players. You can't do that with 3.
True.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I've run some campaigns where I've had players who were really, I just like really souped them up with abilities and let them have a lot of fun at early levels, but you don't get a lot of that. It's not easy to do that without giving them basically a bunch of magical items and special effects and boons and all kinds of stuff, unless there's like 6 of them.
That does not hit. It does not.
Oh, this is her missing the mushroom.
Yeah, this is where she
It's
missed
coming.
one.
People say, I'm talking to you guys like, sound off. Who's got a thing?
Beryl says, not yet.
I threw one at you.
Is that
I threw one at you.
I loved your your genuine confusion. You're like, wait, what?
Back here on our way out.
Bitch didn't take my gift.
But I have something.
Good.
I have something, but I'm also hearing screaming. Are we running?
I was gonna
You
say.
guys are so altruistic.
Raz, I'm gonna-
See, here's
have
the thing:
nothing
is
but
I
you're a damsel in distress. I need to see.
Oh
I
my
didn't
god.
I love that part.
I think Beryl
I
and
didn't
Iris share a look.
like
Like,
know
this is what
what
you
everybody's
buy.
characteristics really were for their character of like if they're gung ho or if they're all just like whatever.
Hearing
So to hear
responsibilities,
Kaida
she
and
kinda looks at
Redvald both
Redvald
being
and
like,
waits for
"Let's
Rolnat
go,"
to
I'm like,
sort
okay,
of
they're in
crack
my playing
down
style. Like this is gonna be
on,
fun.
this
And
one
I'd already
remaining
talked to
caution
Tegan about how
bearer.
Emmy's kind of
Uh,
the opposite
yeah.
to Raz.
With the shillelagh.
And so seeing that
Go
there's
ahead.
kind of a balance of like
It's a fucking fumble.
resistance to
Alright,
pushing,
well, natty one.
I think is actually a fun dynamic
As
for our
you slam
group
down into
for
the
these
vest of the
choices.
viscera of
Oh, we're
this
hitting the mushroom meat right
creature,
now. Forgot about
like
this part.
explodes all over
God.
Redvald.
Brazen in his face.
Your staff is
Um,
fine,
I
but
I
he is
think
just
more of
covered
as
in like
Iris is your
mushroom
counter. Like I know you're not like
mushroom. I think it's called meat.
super
as
lawful
mushroom
good,
meat of
you
this
know,
creature.
helper dude, but
He
Iris is
explodes
kind of
away.
like comes from a different type
Oh,
of
sorry, dear.
perspective than you, and I
Count
think that's the
that.
funny thing about her and
Do you
you.
think
And
counters
Emmy is more kind of in the middle,
Aye.
I think.
Well,
But Kaida and Redvald are
I
both very
like the
action
look of
oriented,
that
which is
coffee.
great.
Mhm.
Right, and but that was the thing was
God.
Emmy's so resistant
If he's a
to
good
like
counter.
get into stuff, and at least Iris is
I
like
for one think
brave
we should
enough to
leave
like
soon.
go in and
And I
like
think
be a
that
part of
should
it.
be
And so that was something I talked to
her.
Tegan about specifically about her
Um,
character
What's the
development, and I
difference
was like,
between grabbing
like,
a
oh, it's so
vodka
funny
and
how we just
grabbing a
basically
dead
designed
chicken?
Yeah.
characters that make opposite
I do
choices
think the
naturally.
chicken would be better.
Mhm.
She has a very, I mean, I'm not going to spoil her background, but she has a very
I got
unique,
2 if
like,
you need another one.
reason for wanting to
Right.
do the things she's doing and for the reason
Realizing
she's
I
not
need to
loving the
stop,
dark
like,
and things like that. So
Mhm.
every single thing
it'll
else
make
that's
sense
so really
eventually and feel,
repetitive.
I think
'Cause
you'll
it's
understand why I
so
say
funny
Iris
whenever
is
you're
the
like,
opposite.
Right.
No, that's hilarious.
Helps.
But yeah, that was the reason
okay.
that I wasn't thinking of Iris
As
as the
you try
opposite
to
was
strike
because
this guy
she's
and
made
splatter the
Iris
one mushroom
very
boy,
active
the
and
other one
engaging
is
in
still sitting there
in
making the
just
same
stuff
noise.
happening,
Hap.
even if it's not
Oh.
the same
And he
choices
like
that Raz
picks
is
up the
making.
end of
Oh,
the
here we go. Yep.
He's about to do it.
I'm so glad I get
It's
to do
gonna
this. I
happen.
was so worried you were gonna kill him.
I'm so glad I
He
get to
picks
do
up the
this.
end
I
of the
love
cross.
that.
He goes, "Hap, hap, hap, hap," and he holds the thing over his head and he swings as hard as humanly possible at Raziel.
He's not.
And he gets
He's not a
advantage. Oh,
human.
and he crits. Oh
Hey.
no!
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I love that.
Marky, you
get
came
the
in just the
mushroom
perfect
stamp thing
time.
the first time.
What
Yes.
That was also so great that I didn't hear the mushroom stamp joke. Like, oh wait, what is
If he
that?
gets
What?
caught as a weapon, he can only do it one time because it breaks it. So he gets to use it like a reckless attack. So he gets advantage on it. He rolled a 20. He rolled a 14 and a
Sorry.
20.
So good.
He cracks it over Raziel's head. Raziel, he does 11 points of damage, of bludgeoning damage to you.
What?
Gas.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah,
I,
I know.
would have been knocked out. I was like, he's
I
dead.
have one hit point left.
This is why you're in front.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
Could
it.
have-
This is why you're in front. I'm like, that's,
I think it was
and then
a
when you said that, I was like,
2d8
that is
too.
true. That's
Slams
why
you
I'm up
against
here.
the wall.
If I remember correctly, I need to
As
double
it
check this, but I
shatters
think it was
into a million
2d8
pieces.
damage. So you got
He
Damn.
continues
it could have
screaming,
been easily a like
like really loud and terrible.
16.
And
I love
Yeah,
this.
well, I mean,
do
even the
anything else,
midway.
He's just gonna stay right
Yeah.
there screaming, "Hup, hup, hup," over and over again. Ross,
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I love the hup screams. Kathy, perfect timing.
The best
Perfect
part
timing.
is later when you do the tired hups.
sitting
Where
here
you're
like,
just like,
man, I'm
hup,
just gonna take my ability.
hup,
I really want to use this random
hup."
ability. I
Yeah.
got this
I love
thing.
those guys.
'Cause if you
They
don't
the funny
kill
thing
it
is,
when
I
you
thought
get
of
it
how they
close, it
sounded
gets
on
to
the
do
spot.
just
It
one
wasn't
time.
planned. I was just
And
like, they're carrying a cot, so them saying "hup hup hup" sounds like a cartoon from a long time ago. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
No, I was genuinely blown away when you did the hup 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 because you are the second DM that I've had named Ethan. And my previous Ethan DM also, for some fucking reason, went hup hup. I'm like, creature, but it just took me back. I was like, what the fuck? It's cool.
Actually, I contacted that other Ethan, and this has all been one big ruse.
I fucking knew it. You all have a group chat, don't you?
You win the money.
Dang it, she figured it out too soon. Now we gotta
Get a
quit
fucking group
playing.
chat.
Oh,
God
You're
damn it.
actually a clone of Cleo, and you're reliving all of your experiences. And I'm so sorry.
Whoa. No,
This
because
is,
the character I was playing in that game was Cleo.
You're getting Minority Reported. You're trying to
Oh, shit.
reconnect to your soul.
Oh god.
Kathy Ireland on TikTok is saying hi, that she misses us all.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh my god, I remembered my favorite part. It's the fungal stretcher.
Oh god,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, can someone explain this joke to me, please?
Is the word
No.
fungal anything?
No?
Yeah.
Well,
It's
I mean,
just
okay,
bad.
so there are
Is it
things
dirty?
that are stretchers that are
It's not
dirty.
dirty. It just
and
sounds gross.
Yeah.
The word fungal
Oh.
in front of the word stretcher is gross. Because there are definitely
Yeah,
things that are
stretcher is
called
like
stretchers.
usually something that you should have kind of
So,
clean.
Exactly.
I was thinking lay on hands too, but healing hands.
You put them
Sure.
together, it just creates the worst thing ever.
Got it.
You
Got it.
imagine.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like an innuendo or something.
No.
No,
If
It
it is,
sure
I don't
sounds
know.
like one. I
It
think it
really
sure
does.
accidentally
We
sounds
can
like
make
one.
it
I mean,
one.
again, stretchers are a thing, like a dirty thing. So
Yeah.
As a bonus action,
calling
you
it that
pick
is
a
rough.
creature, which could be yourself.
Maybe it's all,
And draw
you
a
know,
card from the pool of healing story.
maybe it's also because fungal sounds like fundle.
You can heal 5.
I think you're
Oh,
overthinking it.
very, very top of mind right now for still for you, huh?
I kind
Yeah.
of feel like I have to go 5.
You got
Absolutely.
messed up. I wouldn't blame you.
Yeah, because I only have 1 HP, and I know that's not gonna do great. So I'll give myself 5, so that'll put me back up to 6.
I'm actually kind of dreading I don't think I've talked to you guys about this too, but I have gotten so busy over the last few months, for the last like 6 months, that I've gotten close to having to cancel my Thursday D&D game that I run.
Oh.
And so I have not done it yet. I'm still running it because it's not very long, so I work after. But I'm always so exhausted. I keep thinking like,
yeah, I'm not
one of these weeks I'm gonna have to be done with it, and it's gonna be the last private game that I run. It'll be the last private game that I run.
Sorry, man.
No, it's not a bad thing. It's a good. I mean, it's a good thing. Like career stuff is doing well, and like
Yeah.
stuff, and, like, you know,
He's going to run
it's
up here. They're not
maybe
similar,
if the podcast does really well, especially because one of the campaigns was my test campaign for the world that you're in, and so it has a lot of similarities. So if they figure that out, then a lot of them are going to know who I am.
I saw a video on TikTok today. It's that guy that always does those D&D like silly scenarios, and it was when the player realizes that the DM has based this game off of a book series.
Oh yeah.
And it was so funny. He's like, so I was reading the other day, and the DM's like,
yes, we
what
also
were you
kind of
reading?
talked about
And
No, I think he said you don't read, which also means
yeah, he's like, it seems peculiar to me or something. Yeah, and I thought it was so funny because I almost sent it to you.
Do you know the Mistborn series?
Yeah.
Familiar?
And don't tell everyone.
Are we just
good.
playing your fanfic?
Yes.
She's
I
over
thought
there,
that
like,
was so
pressing a
good.
button on the mushroom, like, hit me again.
A magical
I mean,
weapon
in a
has
way,
leveled up.
In a way, I just took a bunch of anime and combined them into this to like say, I want you guys to have as much freedom as you want and create a world with some of these ideas in it.
Starts tapping the inside.
And then it
I'm
worked
not
out.
gonna lie. Yesterday, I did watch a
all
specific
of you feel the same
episode of a
effect again
D&D
as the
series
dungeon feels
to
like
maybe
pissed
refresh
for a
myself
brief second,
on
but this time you
how
don't
things
feel
went
lock or
to
any
maybe
additional
see if there's
movement. It starts
strategy
to
in
move
that
and
to
then just
help
kind of
with the
moves and
game.
stops.
Oh my
And
god.
then that
I did.
guttural like hum growl sound
I'm
that
very
comes from
Strategy
curious
won't
what
save you here, buddy.
animes
but you hear
you've
that same
referenced.
sound again come from
Oh, I
Same.
can tell you. Give me
this
1
hole.
second. I'll tell you
And
which one.
I
Ethan,
don't
I
want to
would
keep
like a
screaming and
stand.
keep
I would
adding,
like
but
it to be the
you're
world.
you're hearing
I don't know.
That would be cool.
It doesn't sound
That's a cool idea. I'll add that as a boon.
Oh,
it's an
oh
odd, you
shit.
hear like an
Okay.
odd sound and you
Fair,
hear
alright.
now what
I
sounds
didn't
like
think that was
crying.
gonna work. Well, possibly, but
I mean, they're astral
Bro,
monks.
this
They have 4 arms they can make appear like a stand.
Okay.
yeah.
So
Oh yeah. By the
there
way,
is
there's a
there's
star
another
tattoo on
dead
Iris's
mushroom
nose.
guy that's right below
Birthmark. A very strange birthmark.
there. I'm gonna heal Iris as
Dio!
well, and
Anyway,
if you'll allow me a
the
bonus action, I'll just scoop that up real
sorry, I
quick.
had to
Yeah,
hand off the warming.
Oh, I
And
get what you're
then,
saying
having
now. I'm
heard
like, these terms sound
Roz yell
familiar.
shout,
Where have I heard them from?
Wait, what I was saying?
here, I'm gonna
What you
The
both are
joke
talking
roast
about,
up.
and then immediately when you said Dio, I was like, oh, I see. Okay.
Dio.
Yeah.
It's all a JoJo's reference.
Oh, it
Yeah.
has been.
about getting
So the
Red
animes that I pulled together for this
cone
are
burning hands
Solo Leveling, but it was before it was an anime because it was a manhwa or something, whatever
It
it was,
was
a webtoon.
I was gonna say it was a webtoon for a while before
Yeah.
it became a
Mhm.
manga.
me and everybody else
Right.
in favor,
And
these
so
chickens are all
I had
trying to
read that
rush up
years ago.
and get
And
like
so I
the
was like, I
rocks
like
that
the
let's
idea
say the
of
wall
this
is
like
in range.
world that exists in the periphery that only certain people can access, that they go through these gates, that there's like they have the ability to basically like rise up from this world and cause havoc and like break gates and all that kind of stuff. So that's where that concept comes from with the well and the two like universes colliding and all that. But there's more nuance to that that's like specific to this world. And then don't judge me for the name of this one. The idea around the gods losing their powers and then like people rising up as champions within their like houses is from an anime called Is It Wrong to Pick Up a Girl in a Dungeon?
Oh, I've heard about that
has,
one.
has a terrible name and is not a great anime, but has a really cool world concept. The idea being that like all the gods give up their power. They each build these houses so they can have like sizable armies, effectively giving them power, and that's how they become powerful again in this modern, world is by having the most powerful like heroes and or the most heroes or whatever. It's not very good.
I've never seen it, but I've heard of it.
It's really
all of the ones up here and the bottom.
yeah.
I
It's
have
one of
such
those
little tolerance for
all the ones up here in the body.
I forgot what the term is.
fan service.
Give that again. So
Thank you.
Yeah, no, there's same.
Yeah.
Showing butts and stuff.
Oh, got it. Okay.
This is one of those shows that is like it will seem perfectly normal, and then all of a sudden the camera will swing around, and you're like, "Why?
I'm not
Why
gonna
did you do that?"
I'm not gonna assume a show with that title is normal.
Right.
But sometimes you have to get past the title and it's actually something pretty decent, you know?
Yeah.
Is still alive. Right?
It's a hear me out
Some
anime.
shows that
Yeah.
have normal titles get weird, like the
God,
Food Wars.
yeah.
Food Wars.
Yeah. But there's one where I absolutely didn't watch it for the longest time because of the cover picture, which is a lady in a bunny suit. And I
Yes.
forgot what the title is. And
I'm trying to know what it's talking about. I'm trying to remember.
and it's like and I finally like ran out of things to watch. So I just finally decided to watch that, and it was actually really good. It's about where she decided to wear a bunny suit around because people stopped being able to see her.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. I forgot what
Yeah,
it's
I know
called
that
now.
one. Yeah.
That makes it your turn. You can
I mean,
actually see
and there
yourself.
are ones that I'll watch because I like the world, but I hate the story or the elements of it. Like the there's that jobless reincarnation, something like it's like Mushigo Tensha. I don't know how to pronounce this crap, but it's of the titles. I don't mean of the language. But it's a really kind of grossy like It's a really good story at some parts, and then some parts are just really gross. And so I have a hard time hanging with it. But the world building is so cool that I have a hard time giving that up, especially because I like world building a lot. It's a cool thing. So
Yeah. What's up, Mark? We're
I
in the
will say-
Discord if you want to join us.
one of my favorite anime series, like because they did multiple different styled seasons, was Sword Art Online.
Oh
We
yeah.
can get into it. It was
I
just
really
that one I
liked it.
also.
The first season I loved. The second season was interesting, but I didn't like it quite as much. But that first season, the premise of it, I just thought was so interesting. And then the third season, it lost me. But it was one of those things where the world of like how they set it all up and
and I believe that's
like
now
how it all
Correction
functioned. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Brody, you should
But I think
check
it's
out the
perfect for gamers.
abridged
Yeah,
of it.
Yeah?
The abridged
Yeah.
is really good. And if you guys didn't like the actual one, check out the abridged. It's actually like
I-
they cut out the annoying weird stuff from it and they make it good.
Touch a willing creature.
Did they cut weird
The annoying
stuff
weird
on
stuff
it?
being
That's
the
what
odd
really-
like stepbro, stepsis.
Thank you.
crushed.
Yeah, because
Oh.
that was killing
The
me.
second
Yeah,
season,
no,
they
that
just
was
went, why don't we
weird.
do all the cringy things?
Yeah, when like his girlfriend was like imprisoned or whatever in that one world, that was so awkward
Yeah.
and out of nowhere. And then also the sister stuff was like, whoa.
They fix
Yeah.
all of that in the abridged.
I'll have to
I
watch the
remember
abridged.
asking a friend of mine, I was like, am I missing something? And they were like, no, that's a normal thing in animes. And I'm like, not the animes I watch.
At least in this one they were
How
stepsiblings.
I was like, I've never seen this before.
I'm gonna let you do this. It's fine. You know what?
watched,
Actually,
like,
I hate this. Guidance does what it
Bebop
always
was my
does.
favorite, and I watched that
Guidance
like
adds
that
a
generation of anime. And then whenever I came back to start watching again, I was like, there's a lot of stuff I did.
I really like My Hero. My Hero is one of my favorite new animes.
Yeah.
I'm in the same boat as hell on that one.
Yeah. It's
My
definitely
two-
popular.
My two are JJK and Spy Party.
Oh.
Or Spy Family, yeah.
Well, yeah, that's
Oh
good.
my God, Sarah.
I want
you're-
to watch both of those.
Please. Oh my God, can we have like a little launch party?
Yes.
I
I
don't
love
feel like
this
Chainsaw
Crunchyroll
Man
won't let
does
you
a lot of
stream
that
it,
stuff.
No, I need
But
to
it
get back to the
feels
Spy Family. I
less
love
weird.
them.
Or is it for anything?
So far
Yeah.
behind.
It's for anything, any
what would
ability
you like
check
to roll?
now. You
Oh my god, we were
I'm
supposed to
going
start
back
one
to
at the
that
same time too, Helen.
Yeah,
I
we
can't
were. It was
remember.
Any
Haikyuu.
ability check
Because
now
I
Yeah,
love
well,
in the next
Haikyuu.
minute is what
Okay.
you think
Oh,
you're
yeah.
ready to do it,
I'm
you
only
can
in the
do
first
it.
season, but I used to play volleyball, so I'm like watching it. I'm like,
You idolize Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Can
I
might
never thought I was
Oh,
like
no, is it doing the thing again?
I mean I can talk about
No,
you know,
it's
I'm not
not
gonna talk
Discord,
about this
it's
because I
just
can
like
talk
our
your
internet
ears off
line.
about
It's the
this. I'm just
Discord.
going to
Oh,
not.
okay,
Yeah.
when you-
oh.
This could be a side
I
conversation.
keep getting
I do have to go in like the next 4 minutes, so I'm just gonna hang out with you guys till then.
Sure.
Same.
I'm gonna make
I also have to
sure
go in 4 minutes.
Oh my god. Everybody's
Yeah, I
leaving.
have a thing that does that.
Well, it's your fault, Sarah.
It's only two
Okay.
of us.
Okay.
I'm just
All
double
right.
checking
If
my
anybody's
email.
Alpha
leaving,
Rody,
it's
your
you,
replacement.
Wait a second.
For
It's
what?
her fault? I thought it was your fault for sending us
Guidance.
TikTok
If I'm
invites
reading
while
this
we were in the
correctly,
Discord.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a reaction?
Yeah, don't worry, Nate. I won't
Taking
ever invite you to
response to
anything
an
ever
outing?
again, just like Daniela.
Hey, hold up.
You
now.
lost your friend
I
card.
responded
so-
to that. I reacted, sir.
Definition of it. It's not.
Really? What am I
Uh,
Yeah, no, it's an action. It's an
We
action.
can.
Okay.
I just felt bad 'cause it was like, I'm already
during
here.
the-
I
okay,
can't go
this
there.
was during the play test. I
Can't be in
love
two
this.
places at once.
Why did they do that?
This is where you should
They
be.
had a really cool version of it.
I was
They were
gonna say
playtesting and they
I
took
went
it
to the
away.
TikTok
No,
one
we're just gonna
first
use
to
the
see who
5-year
all
old
was in there, and
because
it
I
was
don't-
early, so there's
I
only
don't like
3
it being
people.
specific, that's wild.
And so I started sending out
I'll change.
just
I'll
I
change
think I
that
sent
up
out like
then,
14 invites,
at a
and it was
different
just
time.
like, here y'all go.
But yeah, so Kaida now has
So.
guidance, and I'm
Yeah,
just
the entire
hover
time we were
behind
talking
her.
about like most of the entire time we were talking about anime, you guys were talking about guidance.
Actually, I'm going to take like one
Oh yeah,
step away from
because the
Guidance is so
2024
it's bad.
rules are
Oh,
infuriating.
At the end of your turn,
And how we
They nerfed it
already
for no
decided
reason.
we're not following the 2024 rules.
Picking
We're gonna do some of them. A lot
I
of them are
know.
cool. A lot of them I vibe
I
with.
set this to just.
I really like the Marshall changes. Those are cool, but guidance didn't need to be
Roll,
done.
cool.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Conroll.
The Marshall
I get
changes
why
were
they.
great.
All right.
All
Yeah,
the
yeah,
caster ones I am angry about.
yeah,
the
unfortunately,
it's
that is not
it's
sufficient
either
for
more
me to go to
complicated
sleep.
or unnecessary is what it kind of feels
Spores
like.
affect
Like for
your-
They just
a lot of
I mean, we talked about like you can't be magically
I mean, some of it
toxic,
got
right?
buffed.
This
Like
isn't
some
a
of it got
magical
pretty
effect, it's
big
like a
buffs, but most of it is like
Yeah.
And so it just puts you into
I like some of the more options. Like for
fear
example,
because you
the
don't
cantrip
so I
ability to
focused
make
much on
somebody not
the
able to be
that is
invisible is pretty huge. Like that's you
Yeah.
know that's an
Yeah.
ability that
It's
not
more like being
And
was
Kaida.
not in the
Oh,
last
which
version. There's a lot of stuff like that that is
which
way
means
more
automatically.
casters feel way more
No.
control
You are
based
the
than they
Yeah.
feel damage
Oh,
based.
that's concentration. I'm so
Um,
sorry.
but yeah, some of that stuff, like the
Oh.
No, that's
guidance
fine.
one, is
Oh,
so
it's the
weird.
dice.
Like, why? It's already concentration. Why would you take away
Immunity, and then
half of its
the super
functionality?
hatchlings, there's only one
Did you
alive.
see what they do
It
to
is going
conjure
to live up
animals?
all
They
the way
I
to the
did.
group of you.
Yeah, I know. I mean, they
Wait,
still messed with
explain.
Hunter's Mark
I think
too,
it's just gonna
so
attack Kaida.
They
Don't
nerfed
trust me in
Hunter's
front of
Mark?
it, It's not smart.
they didn't nerf it. They just
13,
left it
there's
as
no way that hits
concentration
you.
still.
Oh.
Hmm.
I don't think. Okay.
But I mean, that limits like
That
a
one,
ranger. Basically, you walk into a boss
actually, at
fight,
the end
you
of its
cast one
turn,
spell,
does
and then
get-
you
oh,
can do
yeah.
nothing but fire the
You
rest of the
actually
time.
watch Kaida
Mm.
Yeah, you
Zach-
basically become a
It starts
turret.
to kind of like turn into
Zach
a,
said in the TikTok chat, we only rolled
like, it's
back
kind
one
of
spell,
turning
Rhodey,
into
not the whole
goofiness.
thing.
True.
Wait, what are we
We're
talking
still
about?
doing 2024 rules.
They will
We're just rolling back
Oh.
one
Maybe
spell.
This
I
is the normal
don't
way.
want to eat it.
I told you.
It came out.
Such good timing.
That was good timing, yeah.
Can I see that Emmy fell asleep?
You would have heard a noise of just.
Or is she just like existing in the darkness behind me?
I'll look at
you
their
can't
like
see
you can
behind
see
her,
how I'm looking
and
at
I'm-
her
the way I'm
ability to
kinda
see
treating
things
this
when I do
is
that.
Right.
She can't
biological
see
more than
behind her
a,
at
like,
all, which is really
sleep
funny.
sleeping. It's more of a like you are like standing up
The
and you're
bracket might
stunned,
get her.
right? Like you can hear just like you would in a normal trance state for a half elf. You can hear.
I'd
her
love to
Oh,
build
I
a
was-
stat
process
block
things
for
that have
those
happened, you're
creatures.
just, like,
I was
physically
subbing the
stunned
other
by
day,
spores. It's, like,
and
forced
some
you
kids
into
in my
a trance
class
state.
started doing this funny
If that makes
dance,
sense.
Okay,
and
so
I
I don't
said,
want
"Is that a
any falls over
Fortnite
or
dance?"
anything
Or I
that's
said,
been
"Stop doing
going
that
She's
Fortnite
standing
dance,"
up.
and then they
You're
kind of
okay with
laughed,
that,
and
right?
I
You
go,
feel comfortable
"Well,
with
I guess technically it was a
Yeah,
Lethal
no,
Company
that's
dance
absolutely
first,"
fine if that's
and
how
they
you
go,
roll it.
"You know
I've
Lethal
felt like
Company?"
I
Yo!
fall asleep. I think that's weird, but also at the same
We're
time,
giving you
it's
street
not
cred.
mine.
I know, and I was
Creatures
like,
have
like,
spores
Yeah,
that
it's a
yeah, but I was
biological
like,
effect.
I
Yeah,
saw
no,
the
it
dance
makes
first in
sense.
Fortnite,
I don't
but that was
know.
because they took it from Lethal Company.
Yeah, we can.
Isn't that like the
Yeah.
little hand,
Yeah,
like,
it's not
Yeah,
in the...
just the hands like out in
Yeah.
front of them,
Yeah,
and I
no,
thought that was so
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
I was like,
Kids are
It's such
doing
a
that?
little
So
shame.
I'm basically
It's a little
standing on
shame
the
these days.
Yeah,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
It's true.
eyes are closed.
You couldn't
No
have paid me to
response.
do that as a
Gotta be
kid.
toast.
I would have been
What
like,
generation
no
ever
way.
had
Yeah,
shame?
T-posing.
Well, and they weren't doing
Yeah.
it for a video. They were just
Shoot
doing
default
it. They were.
animation
It was actually two kids being really funny from across the room. They looked at each other and they just started doing the dance.
All right,
And I
since
was
this
like,
thing
"What are
is
y'all
going
doing?"
into goo,
And so I
Oh.
called them
what
out
are
on
we
it, and then they
up
got
to
all
next?
excited that I
Because
knew what it
wanna
was.
attack
I was like, "Yep."
You
I thought it was
can.
so funny.
You can, if you would like to, I'll give you a free arcana.
Alright,
Well, I
me-
gotta
to
jump.
figure out what's going on.
Yep.
Same
All
here.
right.
Hey.
Bye, guys.
It's good chat.
All right, farewell to y'all. I have to leave.
Have
Good
fun.
day.
Enjoy seeing all the cool stuff in the level below.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With
Try
a
not to
13,
cheat too much.
You recognize that it seems like whatever relationship there is between these creatures is maybe
All right, let's speed up to where we can see
related
all the
in some
stuff
way.
we're not
I'm
supposed
trying not
to.
to give you too much.
Exactly.
You got high enough to know kind of what's
Just
happening.
immediately.
You get the feeling
Immediately, he's gone
Write that
now.
down. Write that down.
It seems to be
Quick, somebody
losing
screen
its
share.
It's physical.
Sarah, give me your notes.
Writing it all down.
No.
But
you
So
shake
this
it
isn't
off
a
of me a little
secret
bit.
that I was.
You
This
can.
isn't the secret
And
I was
go
talking
for
about
Mr.
earlier.
Mushroom
But I
instead.
have
10
started
feet away, so
creating
you
an
don't have to move. You
image
can hit him with your
that
stick
will
or whatever.
represent all of our characters, and I'm trying to make it like
let him sit in a
a
puddle of
scene of random
I'm gonna
things,
go
not just
for
like a
the
picture, but
mushroom
like
in front of me instead.
right now it's like a book on a table with a plate of chicken and like all these
feeling like
elements
that's
that
the mushroom
represent the
stew
game
with
and our
the
characters.
Mushroom is,
Mhm.
yeah.
And I'm finding them
This is the last
on
enemy
like
to you that is going to be causing a problem. Would you like
fair
to
use
describe
images
how
or
you cut
whatever
it
like
down?
sites.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to put it together just to be a fun little image that kind of.
I need to learn how
It'll
to
probably end up
animate
being
better,
like a
but I'm gonna
computer
go up to
background
it
for
and I'm
me,
just gonna
but I
like
figured Joe would
gently
want to
take
see
my
it too.
scythe
But
and just
I'm just
kind
trying
of
to make it a
shave
subtle.
right underneath his little face.
Like it's never gonna say anything directly. It's
That
just gonna
little top
be
right off.
like
And
there's a
hey, does
stone,
anybody
like a
need this?
gem,
Give him a sweet
on the
Anybody
book.
like a
There's
splash?
a.
Oh,
I
are we
put
just gonna leave the
angel
package
wings as like
uncircumcised and right on the
the
table?
cover on the cover of the book,
You know, it was
and
it
so
was
it's so far it's just
payback for the mushroom.
I'm trying to figure out. I'm
Yeah,
probably gonna put
In
some
the
kind
last
of
few minutes, this mushroom
like rolled up
watched the other
cot
mushroom fall,
now
picked up his
on
cot,
in there
slammed
for
his tail against the wall,
Redvald because I was
and
having
then was
trouble thinking
sitting
of
there going,
Redvald.
Hairy
And
butt.
and then Kaida walked up and just slit its little
Just something
mushroomy
personal.
throat.
yeah,
Yeah.
just something that represents everyone. And then I even have a mushroom in
guys
there
are
that just
out of
represents the
initiative
game because
the
we had this
chicken at
fun
the
with the
end of this
mushrooms and stuff. So,
Ah,
but yeah, I'm
all
just
of
trying to
the.
put little nods to stuff.
That's
Mhm.
cool. I can't wait to
yeah.
see what it looks like.
Yeah.
It'll be the hardest part is like there's some stylized images that I really like, but then it's like, well, it sticks out too much and it throws off the rest. So I'm trying to like
the big
make it blend together a little bit, and
It is
so
beginning
not
to.
look
It
so
looks like it's gonna
outrageous.
take some
But
time.
we'll see.
Okay.
And Iris,
Yeah,
actually,
it's
with
been-
your
it's been
passive
neat.
perception, you can see the chicken that melted behind. Can you even see that? Let me double check that you can see this.
Just ping
Yeah,
it.
barely,
I don't know.
barely. It's this little chicken right here behind you. As it melts, what you realize it's kind of like its bone structure is still inside it, or whatever it is, because it looks crazy. But there's also it looks like a little red gem that was in all of their heads.
Oh yeah, the gems.
This is one thing that I
there. Like,
really,
even though the
I kind of,
flesh of it is
I
moving
didn't
away,
want
you
to
see a
jump in the
little,
hole because I wanted us
little
to figure
gem that
out
looks like maybe
the
hidden under some
gems.
feathers on its forehead.
But I
is
was
still
like,
there.
with everybody kind of talking around, I was like, well, he would jump
And
in, though, like, because he'd
she'll
get tired of
yawn
hearing
'cause
everybody just
I
talking.
got spored.
And so I was like, I want to
and
know
she'll
though what the gems do. And so I think it was
her the edge of her
Cleo is
staff
the
to
one
try
who
and
takes the
scoop
staff, or
some
it's uh
slime away from it, and then
Maria
pick up the
or
gem.
Kaida takes it. So I'm
Well,
like,
it
I don't
seems that
I don't
she
know who has the staff, but I knew
the
somebody
dragon
decided
chickens
to
had a bit
take
of
it. So I was like, well, maybe we can do it later.
they all have
No,
some
see, and I was over here watching, just like, oh, there's a hole. Rhodey's gonna end up
Just
in
got a
there.
license for the screams.
Roadies and
and what I-
holes, man.
I think
Haha.
we should probably head out.
And what I liked was that Aaron
Iris, as
goes,
you're listening to it.
Redvolt would be the first one to jump in, and I laughed, being
hear
like,
that
we'll
same,
see about that. And then later Kaida
And
goes,
you also hear
and she's jealous
someone
that he jumped in
crying and
first. And I'm like, I love that they're mad that that they didn't beat me to it, because now I don't
and
feel
you,
as bad.
you hear what sounds like
Yeah.
pacing in the thing below you. And Beryl, because of your ability to feel through the tremor sense, you can feel what seems like two people are moving down below you and northwest of you.
Great.
That
I
is
also wanna-
such a
is there
cool
is there
skill.
one of those similar
Like,
gems in the
if
big
we're gonna be jumping in
dragon
dungeons a lot,
There
like that's gonna
are.
come in
Roll an
so
investigation
handy.
check or a
Maybe
Yeah.
it was intentional.
It
You're
made
pretty,
me,
good
yeah,
at
it made me
intelligence.
think of
more
Toph.
investigating
That's
than
all I could
anything
think
else.
about.
Yeah, I
And
was about to make you
so
roll perception.
in our
Oh, a
Discord
20.
chat, I posted
You notice a couple
GIF or
of things,
GIF, whatever you want to call it,
within this
of
dragon. One,
Toph
he has
doing the
Oh yeah.
stomp on the ground. I did that
Yeah.
because that's
in his
immediately what I
head,
thought when he
that's about the size of your
did that. I
fist.
was like, oh, that's so
And
cool.
it almost looks like a nail.
Like,
It
yeah,
has
that'd be
what looks
fun.
like a rooted.
The one thing I
like,
hated for him though is when he read the description and
stem
it's like
coming
it's
off
not
the
a
back
form
of
of
it, as if
sight.
it was, like,
So it's
jammed
like
into
you
this,
can't
like,
see things. You can just tell things are
and then at the very end of
around.
this like
Mhm.
long nail protrusion,
Well,
you
that's
see
still
little
cool.
like roots at the end of it. But it all feels very crystalline and hard, but it's very heavy.
Chicken
If you guys
goop.
are
Oh,
adding
the
these
coop
to your
goop.
inventory, by the way,
Mm.
The coop coop.
add
The
Is anyone gonna call out
The
how
the chicken goop
they
soup.
react
That
to
was what it
the
was.
Chicken goop.
No, I kind of I only thought about this after Ethan left,
Don't
but I
point
do
out
kind of
Paul
wonder like
Felix.
what would have happened if
But yeah,
someone ate the goop.
I need to go get
That's
my
a
spear.
good
That's
question.
stuck in that puddle of
I want to know.
chicken now.
And before you do that,
For
Daryl, while
that
you're
that
searching,
chicken coop goop
I'm gonna
soup.
go one at a time, let everybody get a chance to do some
Oh,
stuff.
so
But
I'm
as
gonna
part of your
message him.
searching
Be like,
items,
hey, the
in
people want to know.
stomach area,
The people being Hal.
what looks like a petrified arm
People have
that is
asked.
holding a scimitar that's like attached to it.
Oh wow.
Literally.
Yeah, I kind of wonder too, because you know,
So you
like I
find
wonder
a
if let's say
scimitar,
someone were to be fully
that
petrified,
has,
would
like, etching
would
along
they
the
have
blade
just
and that large gem.
died?
Yours is the
No,
Yeah.
he.
sorry, my
I think he
voice is
mentioned
almost
there
gone.
was a way to get out of
The
it. You just
fey
had to
rubies are
keep
what you can
doing
find in the smaller chickens. There are a total of
what's it called when you
there are 9
roll
of them.
to like
Saving
make
throws?
10
saves.
of
Yeah,
those.
saving throws.
And the big one has a large
But I think he clarified that at one point.
Appears to be in
But
kind of fancy.
what I couldn't believe was he found this cool sword,
I mean, let the
and then immediately was like, "Who wants this?" And I was like, I waited for like a second. I was like, I do. Why are you giving away a cool sword? All right, I'll take it.
Might be cursed.
Like a bunch of
Who
chairs.
cares?
I really hate tracking weight.
Hell, you played D&D with
Especially
me.
Blue Track Gold weight, like,
I drank out of a random
Yeah.
bottle.
You
I'm
drank a
not gonna
goat?
hesitate
Do you
to
not
take a
understand that
sword.
wizards don't use swords? I'm
No,
not
no, no, no,
proficient
no,
in it.
I
I'm,
do.
I'm obviously gonna give it away.
I do, but I didn't know. I was like, kind of like, I can just have it. Okay.
It's like finding loot in a game, but it's a nice loot.
Yeah, I was like, that
Yeah.
sounds cool. Like when
It's a special loot.
when he's describing it to Zach, I'm like, oh, that sounds cool. And then he's just like, anybody want it? I was like, yes.
I'd like to get the fuck out.
I love how Iris is just. I just want to get out.
I
I
know.
actually appreciate that about her because I, as a player, this is why I feel like I'm not that good of a player. Like I would have never considered that, you know.
Just leaving. Yeah.
Just leaving. But she's probably like, I've had my naps. We need to reach our
I'm
objectives.
good.
Like, I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah. But
I
see,
mean,
like I said before,
realistically.
I'm a loot goblin. Like I want to explore and try to find things in games, any game. And so for me, like you said, there was never a thought that crossed my mind. And then when she brought it up, I'm like, you don't want to keep exploring? And
taking this
and then when other people
chicken coop
were
goop
kind of
that
like on
counts
back and forth, I was
as
like, ooh, this is gonna be
what
fun.
Max was asking
Like to see who kind of wins out. And
looking
so
at
I was
my
like, all right.
Well, you know me
Yeah.
in actuality. If I were in a slightly scary situation, I would 100% be like Iris.
I imagine that goop's
Oh
gonna
yeah.
start smelling
Yeah, well,
so
yeah.
beautiful pretty
Yeah.
soon.
But yeah, in this
I
kind
wish
of
I
game,
hoped
I'm
for.
always like, I want to see what they came up with.
We
I
don't
want to
really
see
know what
what's
was common
around.
in the
Like
goop.
I wanna
What?
find
Maybe.
the things. I don't- I
basically
I know that he came up with a lot of stuff,
There are plenty
and
of
I don't
cannibals.
want
Let's
to
explore
leave.
every nook and crevice.
Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
appreciate it as much as possible.
I will add the light.
I did also and
see this space a little bit if there's anything.
if I was able to check
There
everything,
are-
I would
there's
I
a
would go
few
to
things here.
everything.
Gosh.
So,
Real quick.
yeah.
I would probably.
Is it 10 feet or 20 feet on your spear?
That's
Yeah.
a lot. That's a lot.
It's 20 feet
Yeah.
right. and
Because to
20
me, I'm like,
feet
I want to check out the portal. I want to check out the spear thing, like the staff, and I really wanted to see if we could save whoever it was in the hole. Obviously, we found out that was kind of a trap.
So, in
but
this room,
yeah,
what you
it's
immediately
just-
see is
it's-
what appear.
I love
to
it. There's
be a
just
number
so many
of,
choices,
like,
and it's not
petrified
just.
bodies. You
Well,
see
the
one
tunnel
broken
leads this
down, you
way.
see pieces
Okay,
of
well, I guess
them.
we got to go
The
that
one
way.
that the
You know,
dragon was
it's like
the dragon
there's
chicken was kinda sitting
at
next
least
to,
3 choices right here.
has
It's like,
some kind
okay.
of like it looks like it's been eaten recently.
I
like the
have
parts have been bitten off.
very triggering
so it's in
memories with
arm.
portals from a game I
but yeah,
did with
most
Zach,
of
and
this
so I kind of don't
area
like portals
seems-
now.
Yeah, it
I'm
seems
very
like kind of
hesitant
like
when it
this
comes to
is where
portals now.
sleeping.
And see, that's why I was the most
You
hesitant
actually
on the
do see
portal
the
because
stairs
I'm
to
like,
be
I don't know how
like
much that
there's
could
some
really
light coming
mess
from
us
right
up.
here. Is it the doorway?
So
Yeah.
And it
it was
looks
like I
some
feel like
kind
a
of
hole
door.
safer
But you-
than a portal.
Well, you can't see
Yeah.
much about it from here, but it's giving off a faint, like you said,
Especially because
reflection green
we'd
light,
already
which you're
established
not
that
gonna
it was
see if you're not
15
gonna
feet
look.
down and that there
It's
were
giving off
2
light,
figures
which
down there.
green light.
So at
You
least
can
I
see
knew it
some.
wasn't like a bottomless pit and that there are actually
Mm-hmm.
things down there that we could possibly help. So
I just mean like I can see it in this map.
Again, I was really hoping though that it was like, oh, 15-foot drop. I hope he just jumps in there and just breaks both of his legs.
So
I appreciate
cruel.
the vote of confidence. Yeah.
Brad
I
really
see
wants
your
to go
random like
investigate
chats
green,
popping up and you're like,
but,
leave it to
I'm
Rhodey.
gonna turn
Yeah,
around
leave it to
and
Rhodey
walk
was the you
back,
jumping in the hole. I also
and as I'm
commented
walking
at one
back,
point when
I
you
look
like
to
were
tell
fighting,
you
I
what
think
I
one of the
just saw
mushrooms or
in
something,
the
and I was like, why am I rooting for the little guy?
portal
And then
pit,
Hal was
and
like,
then
because it's
we
Rhodey.
continue to kind of traverse into this room. This is where
Feel
it's
so
So
loved.
one of the things that is actually really tough about the because this is this
before
chat
you
that you
do
see
that,
up there is from the YouTube stream.
Right.
So when
It'll say there's
I
a
am
portal
listening
and
in,
then it'll just go into the
I am listening on TikTok
Before you
because there's less
do
of a
that, 'cause
delay
you walk in
versus
that room, I'm
the
gonna have you roll
YouTube
a
stream.
Yeah.
perception check
But of course, I'm looking at both, so I
as
could
you do that,
moderate it.
Right. So Redvold, what are you
And so
doing?
sometimes I'll type in things into the YouTube chat that's like that
replying
hasn't
to
even
the
happened
TikTok
yet.
stuff?
Yeah.
Oh.
And
yeah,
I'm like,
that's
oh
funny.
shoot, I need to like keep things in track.
Oh my god.
Like spoiling it for everybody on YouTube.
That reminds me, it's so random, but way back in the day, there was like a World Series game that I was watching with two of my future roommates. And we're sitting there, and then the internet that we were streaming the game on was like really laggy, so we knew we weren't caught up. And it was the last inning, and suddenly my roommate or one of the guys he checked the score on his phone and goes, "Oh, Boston won," and we're like, "What?" Sit here watching this game forever, waiting to catch up, and he just ruined the whole game right then. And I was just like, all because we were stuck on a lag, and I'm like, "Why would you do that?" And he's like, "I didn't mean to."
We'll give you a second.
Yeah, I hate it when it's like lagging and you accidentally like get information early.
But Redvold, yeah, add.
That is an unforgivable
Now I hate
offense.
saying the word.
Yeah, it was rough. Because it was such a neck and neck kind of game. We were on the edge of our seats, and suddenly me and my other roommate look at him and we're like,
it will function like a
"Are you
cot or a
joking?"
bedroll. You can
It's
roll
just
it
like,
up
how could you
as if
do
it's a
that?
cot. It feels pretty comfy. Feels like it might be pretty nice.
Redfold will mutter to himself. This
Thank you.
combined with
Holy.
the bedroll
Thank
that I
you.
have might make a bed that actually fits me.
I was about to ask what the scale.
Are we
of
nearing?
the
Are we
fungal
at the
stretcher is, like if it's
the fungal
mushroom
spreader?
sized or if it's generally like.
Oh, did you say
Spreader?
spreader?
Oh God, no stretcher.
Imagine like they have
Stretcher, you guys
yeah.
read this fungal stretcher.
I never thought about that, but stretcher
And spreader's
and
funny.
spreader,
Yeah.
Funnier.
they're similar words, I guess.
What was the? Oh my God, I can't remember what I was comparing it
Kaida, what
to.
are you doing? We'll get to Emmy.
Hot.
I had something really like. As soon as it was said, I had like this image in my head that was just the
We're out of combat. You don't
worst.
have to worry about actions and bonus actions or any of that right now. We're just kind of like doing whatever you want to do.
And you're not gonna say it? All right, cool.
No, I couldn't like figure out specifically like what to compare it to.
And I kind of want to know about this screen.
It's this
too.
thing that does this other thing at that place.
Pop up here.
I think
As you move up
I remember us talking about it in chat because I was imagining something cute, like a little stretcher with like little mushrooms
No,
in the
okay.
corners. But you're thinking something horrific.
That's what it was though. I think Stacy and I were thinking the same thing because like she said Cassandra from Doctor Who.
We'll come back up to them.
And if you look up it'll make sense.
No, I think I picked up I did
No,
pick up a
I'm
chicken
saying Kaida
before.
did. I'm saying
Mhm.
Kaida had a bad
It's
reputation, so
it's
she
just
started
like I was thinking of very fleshy
Oh, I didn't think about
and
the mushrooms being in there after they melted. Good call.
Yeah.
My.
So Emmy is conscious.
It's a good thing I'm unconscious.
So Emmy
Good thing
does
I'm-
have
I-
the.
Why did she say
one
that? I didn't
chicken.
understand why she said
No.
Kaida was gonna have two, but I think Emmy picked up one.
Ew.
So I'm like,
No.
don't worry, I'm not
What?
taking your chicken. But yeah, with
I looked up
19,
Cassandra from
you
Doctor
do
Who.
save Emmy
Yeah.
immediately.
Moisturize me.
And this chicken, this cockatrice hatchling, has now turned to goo in my bag, hasn't it?
Yeah.
but that's what was in my brain.
Yummers. So
That's why
I come to
fungal stretcher immediately was just not
feel like
cute.
because it's a satchel.
Oh, is
I
that
feel a rat
the stretch out
on-
skin?
against my leg,
Yeah,
and I immediately panic.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
weird. No thanks.
I have
Yep.
books and parchment, and
But
I
now you'll
pick
have
up
that
my
in your
pen
head
and,
every
like,
time you think of the
drop
fungal
to my knees
stretcher.
and start ripping things out of my bag.
How dare you?
No, not on the books, not on the
You're
books, not on the
welcome.
books.
Roll an investigation check.
But I was
You
first.
sullied such a wonderful fungal stretcher.
It was already
Investigation check.
sullied for me, so now it's sullied for everybody else.
That is a 21.
It's like when I sully
So with a 21,
Ryan
you
Gosling
pretty
for
quickly,
people.
like identify what it is on.
I
and
don't
try
do
to
that
Wait, how
figure
do
it
you do
out.
that?
One thing you
What- how do
notice
you-
about this
Nate, I'll
stream
tell
is that
you
as it is
in private because
Yeah,
I think
I was about to say, don't say it right now. Just,
I was gonna say, I think Ryan Gosling is a good actor, and I think I enjoy his stuff, but there's something that when you see it, you can't unsee it, and so I don't usually tell people.
What are you on about?
Okay, cool. We'll chat later.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
Almost like kinetic sand
I-
in your bag.
okay.
and
Oh, I'd
shows
forgotten
that
about
it is
Cassandra.
definitely, like,
Yeah.
let's say
Yeah.
That's a good reference. Yeah.
outside or affected
The fact
Yeah.
that your head went straight there shows me how screwed up you really are, but I like
shake
it.
it off, and then
Yeah.
you realize that you have like an ashen sample of this.
Well, I was like, I was trying to like
printed on this parchment.
figure out how to explain it, and then I think it was Stacy, and like said
And then as you kind of
compared it to her, and I was like, okay, yep, that's yeah, that
Yeah,
is exactly what I was thinking of.
bones are still there, but the flesh and feathers are all gone.
But it's ruined one of my pieces of parchment.
Or
The
it's giving you a
bones are
sample
still
of
there,
this stuff, if you want to look at
but
it
the
that
flesh
way.
and feathers are gone.
Is the
Okay,
parchment half full or half
That visual to me was
I
like
look at it and I'm like,
really odd when he like
"Oh,
described
there's
it.
only one piece. That's
It was
good.
Yeah.
just like
Not on the books."
puddles of
So,
slime with like
uh,
bits of feathers still like melting,
but so it's got
and
an
then
imprint
like
on the parchment, correct?
bird
It does.
bones
It's,
basically in there. I'm
it
like,
kind
that's
of
just
just
gross.
looks like almost like
The horror, the horror of it all.
or like a
Oh,
like
like,
a
alright.
dry ink stain. If you ever use like dry.
No, I
ink
thought it was
to
pretty cool
border
at the
into
moment, but
things like that.
when you discuss it like this,
Being the
That's
archivist
right.
that I am, I
that's
take a little
horrifying.
bag of sand and like
Yeah.
dust it over the imprint to like soak up the moisture to like preserve it on the page.
Okay, I like that.
And then
I'm not gonna make you roll for that. I think that's fine.
yeah. And so then yeah, after, I've done that, I put it to one side just to let it dry a little bit while I put my stuff away.
I
back
loved
in my
how
bag,
frustrated she got about
realizing that
there being slime on her papers and stuff.
I've
I
been
thought that was
left
such
alone
a
here
funny like
as
character
everybody
choice.
else is
Yeah.
I'm like, I
moved
like
up.
it. She's like, ah. And then Ethan tries so hard to like kind of help her find the bright side of it. It's like, you kind of got like a sample of it. And she's
Like,
like,
no, there's no bright side here.
yeah, she's like, but it ruined my paper.
I'm not hearing any
Oh, that was so good.
Are we just gonna go?
I can survive.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say we just got like 10 minutes left, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the break's fine.
Okay. You guys managed to scoop up a few things. Iris, you and Beryl haven't really gotten to do much. I want to give you guys a chance before I tell you what happens in the investigation check up there.
I can't move now.
Oh no, I got you.
See, this was why I asked
No,
him
thank you.
about
Yep, and so
party
I grabbed my piece
size.
of paper with that's
Because I feel
drying,
like
just to let it
with
dry a little bit
our
more,
size,
got my
I
books
can't
and I
imagine
put my
there
satchel
being
back
any
on,
more
and I
people
run up
in our
to join
game.
them.
No.
After
Yeah, I
scooping up as
can't
much
imagine
of
that
the
either.
liquid remains as
Because it's
possible.
just
I've got
it's
the ruby, the
hard
bones.
to give everyone time
They
to
will
do
have to do it.
stuff, and with there being so many things to do, like
Mhm.
for
Okay,
so many people, it's just
yeah,
like
I'll make sure that
you
I've
feel
got,
bad. You want your
I've got
character
one
to do their
mushroom
thing,
in
but
my
you also don't
pack.
want to be
I've got a
taking
ruby as
time away from
well,
other people to do
just
their
making
thing.
sure That's
Yeah.
Iris simple. is You split the
covered.
party.
Yeah.
With regards
There you
to
go.
Well, we could have.
Takes
I
so
jumped
much
down
time.
and I even said, not everyone has to jump down here with me, and they all did. I was like, all right,
She's going
here we
to
go. But yeah.
No. That's very clearly the wrong answer.
her staff, or actually that can
You
be
don't
done
Well, they
split
were-
the party.
But that was the thing is they were putting the rope down, so I was like, well, we should be fine, right? Like I can get back up
Okay.
with the rope.
She'll pass it over to one hand.
My athletics
and
is
in her
pretty good,
other
so unlike
produces
Ethil,
flame, which gives
Raz
lightning
has
of
good
light
athletics.
and
He can
gives
climb
her
ropes.
Yeah.
lights it up.
Well, this one, it's like with this many people, you just got to be a little bit more structured because
Yeah.
if if it wasn't in this, given like we've played just us and it
Mhm.
goes on for hours.
Yeah,
So,
That should have worked. Can you see now?
but that's like if everybody wants to explore
Well,
something
also,
different
for
all
what
at the
it's
same
worth,
time, then
now
yeah,
that
that would
you've,
Yeah.
hard.
gotten past the kind of like
But
chaos of things,
and that's the
you
other
can
thing
see
too
this
is like
light
if it were
down here,
4,
down at the end of this
then I feel
hallway.
like it would be more streamlined. But that,
There's
and I'm
light
not saying I
emanating
need it more
off of
streamlined,
this-
but it was
this,
just like realizing
whatever
I'm
this
like,
is down here. You see
yeah,
that
6
greenish
people. I
purplish light
I feel bad that it's like, if your character
And
kind of
Raz
does
said,
something,
"Hey, I think there's a
you
portal
want to
in
make sure
there," as
everybody
he
else
just like
gets
walked away from it without any
like their
interest.
chance to have their character
Um,
moment.
Yeah.
So Iris would be like, "Well, apparently there's a portal down there. Do we think
Because
it
there's a
leads to the
part
next
later
level of this?
when we're kind of wrapping up,
She kind of just
and
gestures
Ethan's
vaguely
trying to
all
give everybody a
around.
chance to kind of
Were
wrap
we
their stuff
going
up.
to the next level?
And then I realized that Aaron didn't get a chance, and
Oh,
Aaron's so
I don't
quiet,
think
he's
we
not really
need
going
to.
to chime in.
I'd prefer
And so I
not to,
go,
honestly.
I brought it up, and Ethan's like, oh yeah. And he's like, Aaron, what would, or I think he did Redwald, you know, what would you like to do? And it was just like, and I think the only reason I realized that he hadn't done anything is because I'm hyper aware that Aaron will be really quiet in the game, and so I was like, I don't think I heard anything from him.
From a
But
viewer
yeah,
perspective, though, you guys, it doesn't feel
he's gonna kind of
stilted.
coax, and he's
No,
not
yeah.
Okay, good.
surreptitiously. So
It
if you
doesn't
guys
feel
do
like
linger around,
like
you will see what
a
he's
One's
specific group of
dominating.
people
kind of
only
coaxes,
hog the space, or
Okay,
what you
good.
can see
sure
in his
there are
art,
players that are a
but we
bit
haven't
quieter than
actually seen
others,
yet,
but
is
it's
a
not
little hovering
overwhelmingly
blue
obvious in any way that like
crystalline gem.
No,
they
yeah,
all vibe well is
that
the
kind of
point.
like floats
Yeah,
around.
yeah, yeah.
definitely.
That's
He
good.
wants to have his little
Yeah.
gem buddy boy look at the ruby and see if
I
it
loved
can
his reveal of the
discern
gem
about it,
guy.
if it knows anything
Oh,
about
I
it.
thought that was so funny because I was like, oh yeah.
Roll an Arcana check with advantage as you're getting help.
It was
from,
revealed
and
previously. Remember when
Rizal,
when
Ida,
Eth
and
or Bass was
Raphael
asking about his little
revealed
guy?
as well at the same time.
Well, it was unintentionally revealed, but he didn't talk about it then. And so for him to
He
like,
did.
no,
Didn't
he kind of brushed it off a little then.
Your little.
I mean, he
okay.
talked about it barely,
Describe to me what kind
but
of.
but I thought it was
sound- I
fun
assume it's
because
sound. What kind
then
of,
he's like, you know,
what does
he
he
gave
do
it like a
whenever you're
full like,
communicating with him? Does he
now
make
he's
you
out
sound?
and
Does he,
we're
like,
talking, and made
sing
him
or
like a full
hum
part of the
or,
moment. I was like, that's
you know,
cool.
Well, I
resonate?
think it
And
I
explain
think
how
it
their
I
communication
think
works. I
It
thought
resonates
that
kind of
was
like we
fun.
talked about in our session zero.
This right
it
here.
resonates with some kind of like humming, thrumming, but you know, we were trading this kind of like the find familiar spell. So I do think that any communication that actually happens between us is more is sort of telepathic. I don't think it's necessarily that I'm like interpreting its hums, but I think as it hums, it is projecting into my mind. Um, you know, I almost want to say it's not like we're speaking to each other in common. I think it's more communicating through sort of impressions and images and just more vagaries like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I enjoyed those
As you're
descriptions.
trying
I
to
thought that was
investigate
fun
this ruby,
to like
do you
imagine
have a
that's
name
how
for your
they're,
little guy?
I've
you
been
know,
calling him Garnet.
or at least how
but
it's communicating with
can't really
him.
tell me what his
Mhm.
And then when the two
Garnet
gems
moves
are
up
kind of
and,
trying to
like, he
communicate
extends one of his little
how
his
Ethan
little
interpreted
arms, and he,
how
like,
they weren't compatible in a
gently
way, I thought that was
taps
neat
on the
too.
large ruby, and he goes,
I thought that was so interesting.
and as you hear him do that, the gem like gives this kind of low like back at it, and he taps it again and goes, and it goes, and it's like
This
a
is
really
so neat.
discordant, like terrible noise coming off this thing as it's trying to resonate with it, and you feel flashes in your head of like uncomfortableness, like it like empathically it doesn't like this thing. It feels yucky about it.
Yeah.
What you can tell with your Arcana check is that whatever is embedded in these specific creatures appears to have caused some kind of like merging of their either
Yeah, what I liked
minds
was at
or
first I
bodies
didn't
or something.
understand
Like
what
these
exactly
rubies
he
all
was
seem to
trying
be
to like
interconnected. As a matter of fact, it looks like
portray. Like I
when you
didn't know
put
if they
all
were
of the
having
rubies
like some kind
together,
of
they might
conversation, and
form
then he
some kind
explains
of,
that they're
like,
not
large,
like
you know,
compatible
shape.
basically.
They almost seem like they're
And I was like, oh,
portals.
that's cool. It's
And so
it's just
as you're kind of like
building
looking at this
character
large
for a
ruby, you recognize
gym
that it has, like,
creature. I was like, that's
outcroppings
so
for
cool.
additional rubies to kind of fit into it.
Yeah.
Is the most
But
important
then there's
gym
still that, like,
creature
really
to date.
grotesque and kind of scary looking root thing that seems like it was in the big chicken dragon's brain.
Fascinating. I'll kind of hold on to that.
Fascinating.
I'm always gonna say that too.
Kinda as
And
you
the thing
reveal
is with like
All right,
about
fine.
Zach is that
Buzzy, with your perception check, you didn't notice
does
that.
mean
So if
it.
there's a big hole
It just
Right.
does not
right
sound
here in
like
the
it.
middle of the screen,
Yeah, it just comes
Ever.
off
a,
sarcastic. I
possibly
loved
a
it.
petrified
Fascinating.
person sitting in a,
Yeah,
room like
Ethan's
this.
gone over this elaborate
And he has
moment
what
and like
appears to be,
explaining
like, a
stuff out, and
golden,
then to have him
scepter,
with that
like,
tone,
locked in his
I was
petrified
just like,
hand.
oh, okay. And I knew
You see that,
Zach meant it.
and you
I knew
hear
it was
the
like
hum,
he's
the
he's
deep humming noise.
absorbing everything
You
and
hear the
processing when
crying
he's
that
like
everyone is
acknowledging it with the
The scream
Yeah.
tone.
stopped.
But it was just
Yeah.
so
Like,
funny because it just came off
eerily,
like
The
Okay,
screaming is
great.
completely
Good.
Oh, okay.
gone. You still
Interesting.
occasionally hear that
Yeah,
Huh.
that was so good.
and you still occasionally hear
That's
some
so
crying,
funny.
but that screaming is just gone. Kaida, you notice. I'm gonna move you up just so y'all can.
Thank
as
you.
get up,
So
Kaida, with
rude.
I
your-
did when I
Okay. As you move into the room, you kind of look around. I mean, investigations like you have to like get up physically to something. Kaida,
I got
you
seconds.
can
I'm going
look
back
around the
on
room,
mute.
You see the same thing. as
Okay.
Rosalia
Hey.
does. You notice that the gem encrusted like scepter thing, the gold thing that this person is holding in the middle of the room.
Later, Emmy
appears
goes,
to have a
well, since
large
everybody's left me,
outcropping at the top of it, as if it's
I'm like, oh
missing
yeah.
something.
Everybody
And
did.
Tiger, you notice
Because
some
my
more
guy's
of
always
the
in the front, so I'm not thinking about somebody getting left behind. But then I was like, I guess everybody just kind of followed.
seem
Like,
No.
thinking it was funny. I was like, oh, okay.
some of the
Oh,
rubies that you
that's
guys
so
missed.
good.
Like nobody
And as
noticed.
you peer
I
down into the hole, you
And that's
realize
like
that you can
it's
see
not the first time this
down
game
into
that's
another
happened.
segment,
Not even the first time this session.
that doesn't look anything like this. As a matter of fact,
Awful.
it looks,
Poor Emmy.
let me take a
Oh.
look at it so I know. It looks like worked flooring. Like it looks like a
I love that I'm
stone
watching
checkered
like
floor
things
beneath
that
it.
Ethan's doing on the back end, and I'm like, ooh, secret. I'm
about
like, I don't know
15
what the
feet
hell
down.
he's doing. So it's
Yeah, that's been
And
one of
so
the
you can
things
see
is I have
the
some
smoke
friends
coming
that
off
are
inside. You can
watching and
definitely hear the
listening
crying
like to help us
coming
out
from there,
Mhm.
and the
that
humming.
that don't
As
know
a matter of
the
fact, when you
like
lean over the edge, the
the
humming is
mechanics
located
of
near your
D&D,
chest.
so they get kind of
Like
confused
you feel
sometimes.
like thrum.
And the
Yeah.
worst part is I can't see what they're
Um,
watching
I want to give everybody a
to
chance to find
kind of
themselves in a good
explain
position. They
stuff.
are at times, so I don't want
And then
to
when
like
I'm seeing these
say
little
you
bits,
guys
I'm
on
like,
too
oh,
much,
I can see where that
but I
could
want to
get
give you guys a
confusing
chance
because
to
he's
kind of
pulling up
find
a
out what
lot
you
of
would like to
stuff
do.
to
Yeah.
prepare.
Which direction do you guys
And
want to
so
go?
they're
Red Vault
probably
is
like
moving.
anticipating
Red Vault
more
will
than
will
we
be
are.
moving too.
Mhm.
And so it's like, oh, yeah.
So
Uh,
after
Yeah.
rolling up the bedroll,
Yeah, and
being
it's like he's like he
curious
pulls
as
up like
to
different
which
settings and
way
stuff. I'm just like, oh,
I
numbers.
would follow the
Okay.
compass.
Cool.
A little hesitant to
I
go
was
through
telling
that small
one of my
doorway,
local friends about this because
but
she's
I
a
would
nerd and
set
her
everyone free
family's
up
pretty
front.
nerdy, and she has
If
a
anyone's gonna
son that I
jump in a
found out,
hole,
just found
Red
out,
Vault is
that
coming
he
first.
plays D&D apparently every week.
Yeah.
And so
Iris?
I was seeing if she and her husband would be
about you?
interested because I knew they were nerdy.
She'll make her way
And
into,
she brought up her son's stuff,
into the room
and then she
after
goes,
not hearing fighting or screams.
and I was she's like, he's 14 or something. I was like, I don't
Like,
know,
Jim.
maybe. Like, I'm trying to like,
Should be
don't want to introduce a kid to something that might be
She'll just kind of
inappropriate. And she goes,
move
no, he's
around to
used
create
to like
space
that
if
kind of
anyone
stuff.
else
And
would
I'm
like
like,
to join.
okay.
And I think she'll
Like,
start
if you want to check it out, then
digging
that's
through
fine.
her pack
But yeah, it's
to
so
see
funny.
if
I'm like,
she
I
has
guess.
like a bundle of rope or something, because these
But yeah, I
youngins
just
seem to want
that's
to
my thing is I just hope
maybe
like
go into another hole.
people enjoy it even if they
and,
don't
well, we may as
really
well be
understand
prepared.
all the
And,
mechanics that
starts
are going
looking through
on.
her pack for some rope.
They can just
If you don't have
appreciate
like
the
a
story we're
knitted
building.
rope that you work on sometimes, I'm gonna be really sad.
I'm thinking of making
Fine,
it
I'll
knit.
mute too.
Well, that's my point exactly. Is that
Emmy,
it was
where are
that I
you?
was saying that y'all have good chemistry. Like you
Yeah.
build off of each other really well and play off each other well. Like the little quips from
Haven't
each of the
realised that
characters,
I've
even
been
though
moving
it's not
to
their
the
turn,
left way.
just adds so
Mm.
much personality
And
during the gameplay.
Yeah.
Oh, true. All the lights in this room.
Which, considering I can't, I
Look,
can
I'm
say what
making
I
an
can say.
effort, okay?
I know.
I
you're
just
doing
gotta
great.
Because
chew
the light
enough
sources are moving away,
To
I
talk without
will
your mouth
say
being completely full.
I am listening
I guess.
actively, I promise.
But yeah, that was
Because that is better
one
than
of the
moving
things
off
that's
through the
popped up
dark
a little
in
bit
my
is
own
between
towards a light
Iris
source.
and Beryl. Like clearly there's a
seems like
history.
a-
Clearly there's
Well, the fact that Beryl is here
some
alone
just
as well is
funny
also
little backstory.
keeping an eye
And
on
since
him.
we've been in this combat
case.
situation, they haven't really been able to like play it out too much yet.
I'm
So
super
it does give
interested
me
in
like
whatever the
the
portal
excitement to
light
like
source
see
thing
where
over
that
there is, but I'm
goes
not
and
gonna
like what
lie.
they come
Actually,
up with.
I feel like they played to it plenty, and I love it because this is where we see a lot of Jill's chaos. Jill's chaos come
Well, I
out,
do wanna s- I mean,
where
I
she
do
just
have
kicks
pertinent information that I haven't
the
shared yet.
dragon
If
chicken
everybody's
back,
interested in going
and she's
check
like,
out the
she's like,
then
here you go,
I do
and
plan
Zach
to,
just
you know,
plays off. It's like,
quickly
I
after
know
everybody's kind of
exactly
winged
what
through
she
the
needs
campaign,
because we're
campaign,
lifelong
I don't know
friends.
if I mentioned
Yeah.
this, but Jim
Like
Boyd's
that
gonna
part
come out
cracked cracked me up so hard that I mean, you know, in improv, it's like that yes and, right? Like, he has no fucking idea why she just did what she did. I'm not even sure she has any idea why she did what she did.
Usually have languages and stuff.
But
Um,
it's just
you know,
like,
I'm
yep, I know
an investigator,
exactly what
scholar
that
kind
means.
of thing. Yeah, I
Well, like
would
the
probably
dragon
want to go
chicken,
with you
like
anyway
that whole
because
joke. He's like, well,
the
she said
whole
dragon chicken, so
decipher
I know
languages,
that,
etc.,
you know, it's
etc.,
like they
help
made
you
it like it was a code word joke, and I thought that was
The o-
really
yeah,
funny.
I mean, the only thing is, if we are going to help with the
But yeah.
person calling out for help, that's time sensitive.
Well, what was it?
One of these days, I swear we're
I'm
gonna
gonna
get like a really big backstory
so I'm
Yeah.
of what
there, I'm gonna
the
go up
code
to where they
dragon chicken
are.
actually means.
I actually would have mentioned
Well,
this
I
to them
even made
because,
a
Iris
Marvel
brought it up, and
reference
I
of
said,
like how
you know, something to the effect of,
Black Widow and Hawkeye had the Budapest joke where it was just their little inside joke of
and so I'm gonna wander
it's
in
just like
here and
Budapest,
explain to
and
everybody
then
that
he's like,
when
I
I
remember
can,
Budapest much
I can-
differently
I
or
can
whatever,
feel through the
and it
storm.
was
There's
that
two
whole they don't
depths
explain it, they
staring
don't get
down
into it.
somewhere and
It was just a little gag, and I felt like
now
that was
that we're
kind
in
of
this room,
them building
where
that
are
little
they
gag together.
in relation to us, you know, below us, like directly below us, off, you know, to
So,
some other cardinal
where
direction.
you currently are located, hang on, because I was actually just looking at that.
But yeah,
Let me see how far 60 feet is.
I'm trying not to
Yeah,
look.
Okay.
He's giving out so much
Um,
information on the screen
Directly
right now.
to your left, about 30 feet.
But yeah,
or
he
30 feet to your left and down.
he played well off
What
of
appears
a
to be
random
what
stuff.
feels like two people are moving in a small space. They seem to be pacing or just kind of generally moving. About 60 feet in front of you, and I'm not going to worry about the distance down. I don't want.
I'm trying really hard not to look at the screen right now. That's why I'm
Something
not talking. Sorry.
big.
I'm trying to distract myself.
Something
like,
something about
like,
it
oh,
is
I don't
maybe
want to
that
see what it
dragon
is. I don't want to ruin anything.
I don't even know, like,
Something
I'm like, you know, I got to see it the first time, and I can't even make sense of any of it. Personally.
Yeah, but I don't want to accidentally
sure
like
that there's a lot of reverberation and echoing
like
going
see
on,
something
but
that later I'll
the
be able
yells,
to
the
understand
screaming, the
better.
yelling for help, am I
That's not a
getting any sense
reveal
of
to me. So
direction of that? Is
like,
that
yeah.
coming from the figures
He's
that I
doing
think are
Ethan's doing a good
Solar
job to the
perception
point
check
where I
is
genuinely I
think
want to
because you know general location of things,
discover
it's
what
more
he's
of a, like,
created, and I want to
I mean, it's really hard to
Yo,
probably determine which
the
like,
FOMO is so
play
real.
it. Yeah.
The FOMO is so real.
Yeah, with the 13, I don't.
Well,
I don't think you
yeah,
can
and
tell
since
exactly which direction's
our
coming from,
game
just
got
it's
postponed for a while, I'm
I don't
glad
have
I
any
have this
information on
game.
that, but yeah,
I will
I'm-
say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and below us, there's
I talk.
2 feet
It's
of
all your
space all
fault
around.
too. It's
And he's
always
back
so
there
Oh
on knee with,
my
like,
god. Like I had a
up above us.
child.
Yeah, priorities. All right, you should have waited.
Uh-huh. Sure.
For how long? D&D games can last forever.
Hey,
Yeah.
priorities. All right. No, I'm just kidding.
God.
You knew in March that we were starting a D&D game, and you decided to go ahead and get pregnant anyway.
Well, we made it about a year, so I think we're okay. It was a good run.
You need to defeat like the levels chapter.
That was a good
No.
run. That was a good run.
It was. Yeah.
Bring back.
I talked to Jill the other day
This looks like a
about
one-way trip down the hole.
if there was a
So maybe we can
continuation
check the
plan,
portal out.
and she said
See if
maybe
it
in a few
shows
months. I'm like, okay, we'll see.
Well, what's funny though is that when we do get back to it, have no recollection of where anything left off. So I have
Really?
no idea. No, I don't remember anything.
do.
Speaking of curiosity,
But maybe it's because I talked to
curious more
Hell,
about
or not
this
Hell. I
bedazzled
talked to Tegan
stick.
about it a couple times,
I did
so that
want
helped
to take a
refresh
look
my
at
memory.
Probably like I remember like the big stuff. I don't remember like what the last session was like.
Or,
You don't remember the
what were you trying
jail
to do? Were you trying to, like,
scene and
rip it
everything?
off, or are you trying
No,
to,
I remember like
Trying to see
vaguely
how
Yeah.
well
bits and pieces.
fastened
Yeah.
it is to him. Like I assume it's in his petrified
No, Jill did a
hand,
really good job with that scene.
Trying to
That whole
identify.
section.
So what I remember last was
Got some
Cleo
bad vibes,
took us
I
to
guess.
somewhere frosty.
If I touch it,
Rhodey
it's
fell in a
gonna
hole,
ruin my day.
and a snowy hole
An
between a tree.
investigation check?
Yes.
And
I
you know,
can't
Rhodey's in
because-
holes, and
Yeah.
that's a
And
natural
because
occurrence.
my character in that game has no athletic skill,
Oh my god, it's
I
coming
couldn't
back.
climb up a stinking rope.
That thing looks like it's.
It's
pretty
coming
much
back.
familiar
Wasn't there
with
like
that
did
one.
I was like
I
I
almost
needed
died.
to save the dog. I had to save the dog.
I was doing Night Watch,
Gems
and
and a single
so
barrel
yeah.
found close
Okay.
next to each other.
But we were trying to
It
go to that
sure
town
looks like
or that
this thing is
village.
you're
Yeah,
not
but
sure
we
if it's
just kind of
magical,
anyway.
but it
We
sure
were
looks like
like
it's supposed to be.
okay, I vaguely remember fighting the like birds or whatever they were, and then there was a dog, and I just really needed to save the dog.
Yes, there was a dog and there were birds, and we were attacking the birds.
Yes. Okay. I don't remember anything other than that.
But I think I ended up getting so trapped in that hole that I almost died.
You did. I do remember that.
If we want to
Okay.
be heroes, we can.
Yeah.
Oh my
Or we can
god.
live to fight another day
But no,
and
the
maybe
joke with
bring
this situation where I jump
hire us
in
to do this
is
down and
because
clear
the
it out for
backstory is
Christ.
that
Rissy.
Raz used to have
Let's be
wings.
heroes.
And so there's moments when he forgets that he doesn't have
And
wings.
she'll look over at
Uh-huh.
And so his
They show that
solution would be easy if he had wings, that he would just jump down there, catch them and or grab them and fly them back up.
Yeah.
And then he intentionally, or not intentionally, I intentionally had him jump in thinking he could fly out, and in mid-fall realizing, oh crap,
Could not.
could not. I don't have those anymore.
What if,
But
like,
yeah,
the
I've
Goliath
done
and
little
things like that
things
get back
to
before us and close it on us, and they got
address
you know,
the
Guardian or
imbalance that he
whatever.
Well,
has
if anything
with,
goes wrong, I
you know,
can
not
make
having
it
those.
Hi,
anymore.
Tegan.
Well will make
Yeah.
us fail the test, and I don't think they can close the well on us. They can just kill the
Yeah.
boss and shunt us out. But we've already
I
all
love them
got
trying to.
Interesting.
guns, so we're
This
not
is
the option.
this is the reason I
be a-
jump.
Be a coward and leave, or be a hero and try to save someone.
God.
Can I just?
I don't feel like there's, you know, I feel like there's more options in that. But
No, Brody, you know that video you sent me of like
To everyone, she's just gonna call down
the
into the hole and be like,
um
"Hello,
fit-
Hi,
dear.
Tegan. She's
Are
in
there any
she's on
survivors of the
TikTok.
well divers?"
yeah, I just said hi to Tegan. Did you not hear me?
She's gonna call
No.
out into it.
yell into the
I don't
ether,
listen
we
to
will.
I heard you. I heard
What
you.
were you
I was
saying?
just very confused because I was like looking at Tegan.
Humans
I was looking
or
for Tegan in the
lights down
Discord,
there
but she
that
was,
are worth
was
No,
not looking at my
just,
phone.
I was looking at
But you know, those people that we should save.
What were we saying?
I heard you,
Sarah?
Sarah.
Thank you, Hell. Somebody
the
cares.
hum-
Somebody
the hum and
listens.
growling
We
noise
need
Uh,
someone to care.
continues
oh,
until it
shut
happens.
up.
Wait, I'm
Um,
sorry. What happened?
But you hear the crying. after this
No,
happens,
Rudy, you know how you sent me that
and you hear
video
one
of the
back out.
God, it was that one thing that
They are
they
trapped.
worked out with their DM that like his long
That would be
distance
useful. And then you
girlfriend
hear
would
the
be in
voices.
the
Yes,
Oh
uh,
yeah,
yeah,
the symbiote, the venom kind
they are
of
going
based
to-
character.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, that'd be so fun.
No, that would be the coolest way to play a session.
And then
To have somebody who can't actually be with, like, if you're playing together.
That would
Yeah.
no see though. Here's the thing too: is that we could do it too. That's how I come back. Is that I'm just messaging you things and you have to respond to them all.
Yeah, and that was the coolest part for me is like realizing that one person's having a very like one-sided conversation.
Oh yeah,
and it's like nobody else gets it. They're like, what?
hilarious.
Yeah, I thought that's such a cool game.
No,
like,
but
I
see
can't-
that
to
that
see
was
how
like
the rest of the game, like team plays it with that.
that's the fun though of like being a warlock though too. Because then it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
same thing, like that would be like Jill messaging me things
Mhm.
as my patron, and I'm just like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that kind of stuff is so much fun. Like to just add an extra complicated layer.
Yeah.
And to allow someone to play indirectly, I think is really neat. Like
Mhm.
completely random, but still kind of relevant. Was I was playing Marvel Rivals today for the first time, and I
Yeah.
found out that if you play as Rocket, you can hop on Groot's back, and you just get to like you don't move. You just are a passenger on this other player's like character, and you can shoot and stuff. And it's like that, where it's like I don't have any control of where I'm going.
Yeah.
I just have to hope that this person that I'm like playing with is gonna get me in a good spot to do stuff. And so yeah, it's like the idea of that being a mechanic in a D&D game is really cool.
That is really cool.
And there are creatures
I love
around
that
here
team
and
up. It's so
mimics
much
and all
fun.
sorts of things.
Yeah,
You know?
dude, Rocket
usually the
There's every
is like my
possibility that-
favorite now. but yeah, I just
I mean,
thought
it could be a creature down there that has taken the whole vocal cords
I've just been
of,
watching my husband play a
you know,
lot.
our
Of
fellow
what,
world
Rivals?
divers and are
Yeah.
Really? Okay. I literally just started today, and I only played a couple of different characters, but I like the idea of the support that can put down damage, which is
Yeah.
basically what he is.
Yeah.
And we won a lot, not because of me, but it was. You do feel like you're being
Middle of this,
helpful when you have good players on your team that are getting hit a little, and you can give them that little boost of like weapon damage and of health. I'm like, oh, cool. I make better players than me, even better than they are, like already. So it's like
This is when Raz jumps down the hole.
Raz,
Yes.
roll a dex save for me. We're gonna see if you take damage.
Okay.
luckily I have high dex.
Pretty bad time to be taking damage. You're fine. You managed to crunch and roll.
Sadly.
Yeah.
Rather than
So-
make
I
everybody individual-
figured
I'm just gonna
I've been
ask,
doing
Iris,
pretty
are you
good with
following?
rolls in
Are
this
each
game.
of
I
you
don't know
who's not
why, because
following?
it's never happened before.
Iris is
But
sitting with a rope.
I genuinely
tying it
expected
to
I was probably
somewhere
gonna
here,
break a
'cause I
leg on this
specified that I
fall.
got
And so when I
This
rolled
man is,
high,
like,
I was like,
petrified,
"Oh
you
right,
can tie it
nice."
to a scepter or his leg
I don't have to deal with my
I'm thinking the
consequences
big
for this
ol'
stupid
yeah, the big
action.
ol'
Roll
front.
20 just understands
You guys
that
have
you
not
have a
taken
totally different character now, and you
We
just
Yeah.
need.
to, but
He's
but
showing
yeah,
me
Iris will
grace.
just
Like,
take her
"Thank
time
you."
and
Yeah.
not take her time. She'll work efficiently. Wrap around.
I've been beaten to
anchor it
death
with
as
some
Ethiel
good-
for long enough that now it's
Yep.
like I
Weaving
finally get
knots.
You've
some
never
good
died.
It's
I've
true.
gotten so close.
And then cast it
That's
down.
not the
It's
same.
Yes,
not.
it is.
Well,
No, it's not. You haven't died till you died. All right.
It's true. We've all nearly been there.
You've
Okay.
been downed.
You nearly killed me once.
It's
Been
fine.
downed. It's fine.
It's fine. You deserved it, kind
There was
of.
like
Not
did.
no,
really.
there was like 2 fights in that whole like campaign that I think I came out of not like downed and in decent condition with like how everything went.
It was merely a flesh wound. Exactly.
Yeah.
You were okay every time. But did you die? No. I think I only
The
had
one
like
time I
the
almost
one.
put myself up for death, y'all got mad at me. I'm like,
Well, yeah.
the only
There's
time
no
you questioned
discussion.
if I wanted to die.
I know. I think what was funny though too is that like when you turned yourself in too, is that like we were all just mad because we wanted to go explore the
I
other.
know.
Piece of it out. Yeah,
like,
it takes a chunk out.
I'm trying to save y'all, and you get mad at me.
Make better choices.
Yes, make better choices.
Whatever. That choice made that game really
non-consensually.
cool.
Exactly. He
Not
didn't
to the
ask
consent
anybody.
of the team.
No, and
Yeah.
you know the worst part was the coolest thing that happened was me convincing Cleo not to not to ruin that choice
Is anyone
because
not
I
going
had to legitimately phrase everything with
want to
truth.
see,
I couldn't lie at
'cause I
all
saw the,
because she was
scepter
making me
with
roll
the,
every
you
time
know,
I
reviews, but
said
I'm
something
mostly
slightly
pissed
incorrect.
that
So
Raz
I had to
jumped down the
hard
screaming
like
mystery hole
core
first.
think about exactly how I phrased
And also, so,
everything
I
so
call
I
dibs,
could
but
get
if this
away
is a
with
trap, I'm
everything. And
punching
there was
first.
moments where she'd be like,
Sounds good. Are you jumping?
"All
or
right, well
climbing the
that's
rope down?
technically not a lie."
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay. Oh, here's where you jump down, and that's when I was like, oh, of course he does, and he just immediately dies.
Yeah.
My athletics is good.
Neither
That
is
was a quick one.
mine.
Dex save is better than my athletics, so
It's mostly
Oh,
the
that's
phase. Wow.
The 8
Oh
that I
boy.
got is entirely expected.
hey,
I got a 15.
Nat
Yeah.
20 for a 22 on the Dex save.
I was gonna say, you
Yeah,
guys don't have
nice.
to all come down here.
I want to come down there.
See, that's me
Well,
being
they're all
like,
getting opposite
"Wait, why are
directions.
y'all all coming down?"
All of you
Like,
managed to
oh.
You
make it down.
don't
Emmy, it's
split
you
the
were just
party.
Mhm.
the last person who manages to make it down, which for you is actually a benefit. Because hang on,
Try not to look at the map.
Roz, you were the first person who triggers this as you guys fall into this space. I'm not sure how much y'all can see, by the way, so forgive me.
See, I
Roz,
can't look
you
at this
land
anymore. I gotta
close.
minimize
Oh, that
it.
doesn't
Okay.
look good.
But
you land dead.
because
I
what
got-
we're
I got
referring
close
to
my screen.
Can you not see
is
it?
not
Why don't you
is
have
not
vision?
what's
What
on
do you
screen
mean?
right now.
What the hell?
We
Okay, I
we
got
I
don't
it.
see
love
all that
Tegan's.
stuff.
Oh well, that doesn't look good.
Yeah.
I did. I have.
So
pretty-
now that Ethan's not here, one thing I will say is I went
And
specifically
I
when I
have
saw
a
this
spear
dungeon.
that's still
I went
I'll fix
specifically
that.
to
We got
episode
it right pretty
2,
soon.
of
hit the ground, Roz, and as soon as you
solo
do,
leveling,
each of these
Mhm.
large
where
statues in
the
room,
main character
each of those
solves the
weapons
puzzles.
immediately, as soon as you hit that signal in
And
front of
it
closed,
was
and you
purely
watch
to
as
be
the
like, I'm
letters
sure
come
he
up.
won't do a 1-to-1, but I want to understand because those were clever puzzles.
And
I
the
want to
room, like,
understand
lights up,
exactly how he
and
solved
each of
those in
these,
case
like,
any of those
stone
get used.
statues in the
Then I
corners,
can kind
each of
of
them
like
pick up their weapons. And all
figure
the
out
Are
how
you
to.
admitting to cheating right now?
It's not
Attempted cheating?
cheating. It's preparing.
Record this.
Okay.
each of you managed
Save it
to
for
get
later.
down the
Oh, it's
whole,
on the,
like,
it's on
kind
it's
of
on
the second,
TikTok.
so
Yep.
tell yourself where you
Yeah,
would have
cut this
gotten the
part
second
out and be
death.
like, Ethan.
There's not
Cut it,
really
send it to
much
him.
action that
Cheating.
happens, but each of these
Because
statues
I don't
is
know
something
what he's gonna do. I just know
pull up
that
their
there was some
weapons.
solo leveling references, so I
Uh-huh.
wanted to make sure that if he does any of those mechanics in this dungeon, that I kind of remember
Here's the
what
thing,
was
though.
important to look
Here's
out
the thing.
for.
You might consider it as preparing, but that is Rhodey preparing, not
Yeah.
Raziel.
Creature is through that.
Yeah.
You know?
Raziel would not have the
two
reference
smaller
of
creatures
solo
left for you to
leveling.
restore, and
Right.
one of them has been
So we'll see how I can make it work.
Hmm.
So,
I wonder what your
there's a
intelligence is, because
door
that's one of the things I struggle
There's
with my
inside this
characters
room
is
is
like,
a red,
I
marbled
I don't remember
floor,
my characters.
and
I
it's, like, checkered in different
tend to make
directions.
all
It's
my
made out of
characters
stone, but it
dumb
looks like a marble
Yeah.
tile.
because
I do
I
too.
put the
Large
stats
room.
elsewhere,
There are, like, 4
but
of them
like
statues in each of these
my
corners,
I
and as
do
Roz is
believe
around
that
them,
my
picks up
brain
the
is better
weapons.
than most of
You
my
hear the
character's brain.
hum, like, humming noise
Right.
coming from this
Yeah.
door,
And
What
it's
is
like,
it?
oh,
that large
I
creature
think
is
his
in there.
intelligence
You
is
also
low, but
can
his
hear
wisdom is
now,
high.
let me double check what you can see.
And I think his intelligence, I made his intelligence low
Pretend like I didn't
specifically
say
because
anything.
he's not from this
But through
like
this door, you can feel two, like,
community.
medium-sized creatures.
Like
one
he's
of which
new
is,
to like
it feels like laying down.
this land.
Mhm.
Kaida, what were you
So
gonna
I
say?
didn't think it would be fair to
I
give
was
him a
gonna say new
decent
rule.
intelligence
If
if
there's
he's
a
not
screaming hole in the ground, we
familiar
don't
with
jump
some
into
pretty
it next
basic
time.
things that the rest of these
But
people would
since we're
be aware
here,
of.
does anybody want to make friends with the rock collection before I break it?
Why don't we see if that spear thing does something before we start attacking things?
Man.
See me
I don't
being
have
like,
lots of
I want to
four
see what the
skulls
spear
against
does.
6 flesh. This is
The spear was in the hand.
I
of the
did
thing
that
right
once in
above this
college.
hole.
It was not
yeah.
good.
Tegan's talking about how her character's the opposite, low in dexterity and
All right,
strength,
we
but
gotta-
high
we
in
gotta end on
intelligence.
that note.
wanted to do.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
That was
want to
fantastic.
kind of set up like a cliffhanger here for you guys.
Hey,
One thing first, before I do that, and I'll do the same thing.
I'm always
I do
low
in
on
the other
strength.
podcast episodes where I'll add like an extra.
Yeah,
like,
I
immersive
did
audio
regret
bit into
that
this whenever we do the podcast
choice with
piece,
my
and you can
last
listen to that
character.
later if you'd like to.
But
But
when I couldn't do basic things like
each of
climbing a
you,
rope,
I'm gonna
I
count
was
what
like,
you did
come
as a short
on.
rest. So mark yourself
My
as
highest
having
was
short
like
rested
for
during what I
time.
know
My
probably
highest
wasn't
was
a
my
full hour, but
charisma, and then my
it was.
dex.
And each of you are now
But I
level
liked
2.
having my charisma that high.
Yeah, same.
Make yourself level 2
Yeah.
before next session.
I don't
You each
remember
mark
what
yourselves as
Twitch
having a
Truth
short rest. You
is.
get some healing, so you're
Yeah.
not completely, wrecked.
Oh my god!
See
But
ya, Belle.
you had
Ethan's wrapping
low.
up too.
And
Ethan's wrapping up the
we will pick up
session.
here.
Yeah, it's almost
We
over.
will pick up here
Yeah.
next time, and I'm going to kind of just set the scene here.
Oops.
Each of you here to your left, that kind of like begging
Bye.
crying you heard earlier, of like, "Please,
Yeah.
I just need help," and you hear another voice saying like, "Yes, she needs help, and I am also in a cage.
We are
I
very
cannot
I
close.
like
am
this
also in a
It is
cage.
uncomfortable." And then to your north, you hear that.
To remember that I can detect.
And
Yeah,
to your north, you
Tegan.
hear that. And you hear what sounds like a low voice speaking. "Storm right there."
Well, that's the thing that is nice is I don't
Man,
know.
you spoke right over him.
And you hear what
Over
sounds like
what?
strange language.
God
coming
damn
from your
it!
north.
Right when he was, I was like, I was listening for it.
The next time we come back
I'll have to listen to the podcast.
I was gonna say, good. I'm glad I spoiled it, messed it up for you. So now you have to go and
I'm
actually
so
give us another
rude.
listen. I didn't know what was going on. I was reading a
Very
text
late, I'm gonna
from
put
Tegan.
up
Suspenseful. There was a
slide, but if
suspenseful
anybody needs to
pause
go,
for him.
please
He
feel
was
free. I know it's very
building it up, and you spoke right over it.
Good. It was perfect then, because now if anybody wants to know, you got to go watch either the YouTube or go find us on one of the
Oh, so rude.
podcasts.
Yeah,
So
that's
rude.
awful.
Yeah, that's how you do it. See, it was on purpose. I did it on purpose.
Okay.
Trying to get us to get some more
Okay.
listeners. You know, you got to go
Sure.
watch our show. I'm just gonna say, here's
Oh,
what I think the
Lord.
group needs to learn. If we stay
All
around
right.
a
Well,
portal,
so I mean that's
something
kind
for
of the
too long
wrap
to
up
talk,
of this. I
Raz
don't
is
think we
gonna
need to
take
listen to y'all just
So
yapping
unfortunately,
about
Right.
No.
the gameplay because that's practically why we're here.
Pretty
already.
much.
Exactly. There's a pattern for
Kind of.
I had an idea just
so,
before you jumped in. I had an idea.
But what I
I'm
was
going
gonna
to-
say
Kinda bummed I didn't get to use
was
it,
that
but
I
I
like that I
completely
don't
did
know what
another
everybody's
time.
skills are, like abilities are,
the,
because I made that burn
what
it
is
with
it?
fire
The
as a joke,
camper
and then
mentality of,
Zach
like,
had fire,
gonna
and I was like,
snipe 'em
"Oh,
cool.
sweet!" I genuinely did not realize that was a thing, and I was like, "Oh, cool! Somebody's got fire. This would be great."
Of course.
So yeah, this will be fun. I'm excited
Well,
for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, yes, tomorrow is the next live stream game. Who wants to do the honors of closing us out?
Go ahead, Sarah.
What's up? Me? Okay. When does the stream start tomorrow? Actually, because I can't remember.
Our
It is
time.
6. Our time. See, that's where I get messed up.
8.
Okay.
I got you. It's
6.
6 our time. It's 6 Pacific time, 8 Central time, 9 p.m. Eastern time.
There we go. Okay, those are the times that you can come watch all of these lovely, amazing people playing. God, what session are we on?
3.
3, session 3. Tomorrow on YouTube live, and you can find the link to that in our Shmayo over on our Instagram.
So thank you for hanging out with us. We try to do this every other week right before the next live stream, just so you can fool around with us and catch up on nothing because we speak over everything.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And don't forget, if you haven't watched the last few episodes, we also make these into podcasts that get released the week after. So if you want to go back and listen, they're cut down just a little bit to be a little smoother to listen to.
So find us and follow us on Spotify.
And rate us. We need your
Spotify.
ratings,
And
please.
rate
Yeah,
us.
please. I think we're on Is it still iTunes or is it Apple Music? I can't remember.
Apple.
Okay.
Apple. Yeah.
Oh, and 12 p.m. Sydney time for those.
Ah, yes.
For our Aussie friends.
Which is
So-
like 12:30 everybody else in Australia.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.